All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I am doing fantastic. We've got it's a good day here. I'm feeling good. I hopefully will have a good trading morning. We're starting to get some market, at least some activity that might lead to some market movement. So we'll see what the gods of the market bring to us today.
Absolutely. A lot of action out there that's hopefully is going to be
We
tradable
we
for us.
apparently have no sound in the chat room. I see that you're on the mic, but yeah, the little
Oh,
bars aren't bouncing.
let's try that
So.
again. They are important. We need to get them sound. Let's see here. Uh, what did the browser do today differently than any other day? You know what? Let me go back out and I'm just going to come back into the chat room. YouTube should be all good. We never have a problem with YouTube. You guys are awesome. It's always the chat that puts our technical to the test here. Let's see. Which is go back in, refresh it, and let's see if this works. There it is. Mic's back on. I see some bars
There it
moving
is.
now.
Now we're good.
And we'll get our video, and the video is also looking sharp. Okay, excellent. Perfect, friends. Yeah, it's not YouTube, guys. It's just a chat. YouTube should be perfectly fine. All right, friends. We were just saying, Peter was just saying he's feeling great, having a good morning, ready
Yep.
for some action, hopefully today with all the activity that's happening. And Peter, I'm tuning into your background here. You are fall ready, my friend. Look at this background. Look at Peter's background, his computer here.
Oh yeah.
That's nice. So
Yeah,
you
that's
you
true.
took off the one with
I
all
don't
the affirmations.
I did. I thought I'd change it up. Because if you and we have no screen in the chat room. Now you need to add the screen. Uh
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I try and change it up because I find if you leave the same thing there for too long, you just start to ignore it, right? Like it literally just becomes background and you don't even pay attention. So if I change it up, keeps it fresh, I could bring back the affirmations then a little bit later, and then we have something new. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yes.
even move the affirmations around to different places so you're not, I get it. No, not even all in the same
Yeah.
place. Why not? Friends, quick look at our gappers list brought to you by tradingterminal.com, the one-stop shop where you can get all your trading tools, scanners, simulators, funded account, a couple of educational videos, you name it, is there. And yeah, let's take a look here. Wow. It's the first time looking at this list. I loaded it up earlier, but I have not looked at it. My good, is this right? I gotta refresh this. This is yesterday's list or something after the market. No, it is right. Wow, I'm going back to bed. This is It's too much work to go through, Peter. It's too much work.
That's
All right.
it is a big list today.
It's
Yeah.
massive on both sides. So a couple of things in the green, couple in the rest. We kick off earnings season. China tensions with trade fears as they, implement port fees now. So it's a lot going on there. Yeah, we'll dive into all that. Let's take a look at our U.S. economic calendar, Peter. What do we have for today?
It's another fairly light day, except for one key element. So earlier this morning, we had the NFIB which is the small business optimism. Oh, I have optimism. Anyways, optimism index. It just shows how small businesses are feeling about the economy. It came in a little lower than expected, but not by much. 2 points lower, as you can see. That's an early morning thing. Later today, though, the big one is that Powell is going to be speaking. So any speaking engagement that involves the Fed chair usually gets some attention, and depending on what the chair says, it can sometimes move the market. Now, this is not one of those speeches that is expected to drive a lot of market activity. However, you just never know, right? You never know what statements are going to be made. Maybe he's going to indicate that the Fed is feeling a little bit different than they had in the past. Unlikely, but you never know, right? So that's why you got to keep an eye on it in case you're trading at around that time. You want to be aware of it. I got meetings, so I'll have to leave it to you guys. I don't. I won't be trading. Uh, the next the next Fed rate announcement, just so everybody's aware, is not happening for another 2 weeks, October the 29th. So that would be 2 weeks from tomorrow when we get the next Fed rate announcement. And the expectation, by the way, is that we're going to see at least another quarter point drop. Right now, it's about 97.8% of all of the analysts that believe that, well, all of the surveyed individuals that believe that we're going to get a drop. So that should be interesting. I mean, if it happens to occur as everybody expects, then we'll see like we did last time when the rate announcement, right? The bippity boo in the market, and usually then it sort of gets optimistic again. If it's anything different, then we'll see a different reaction. But anyways, that's 2 weeks away. So, but today you can see we got a couple of Fed speakers, 8:45, and then later in the afternoon at 3:25, 3:30. But again, the big one is 12:20. Sorry, right after noon. You got to be aware of that one. So that's really all we got. No other data. We're going to be data light for the next little while as the government shutdown continues. There's just less data, a little bit less data out there. The private data sources still provide it. Any of the government provided sources, which is often jobs data and some of the economic, large like GDP type data, will not be available as long as the shutdown is occurring, or likely not available as long as the shutdown occurs. So, yeah. So today we're going to be focused on earnings a little bit because we do have all the banks that reported, and not to spoil it for you, but spoiler alert. Oh my God, the banks beat their numbers. Like I can't remember the last time the banks didn't beat their numbers. Maybe it was like the first reporting season after COVID. That was maybe it. But the banks
Yeah.
always, I mean, look, and they've got no excuse, right? I mean, they invented the game. Like this is
Right.
really their game, right? So
Yeah.
the fact that the banks beat their numbers, they should, because again, this is their game. We're just playing it. So just remember that.
100%. I saw a documentary on mortgages and how it became about. These guys
Yeah.
are genius. Genius. Like, how
I
can we
mean,
get more money from people on a very large purchase? Let's create mortgages for homes. It's genius. I mean,
yeah.
unbelievable.
If you go
Unbelievable.
back, I mean, the banking system and the heads of the banks, like J.P. Morgan as an individual, was at the basically the foundation of the U.S. financial system.
Yeah.
Period. Full stop. Like
Yeah.
the Federal Reserve was created because J.P. Morgan had at one point after the Great anyways, you look back at the history during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
J.P. Morgan himself stepped in and shored up the U.S. economy because said if the U.S.
Saved it.
economy completely collapses, we're screwed. So
Right.
that effort from private individuals led to saying, well, we got to do something as a country, and that led to the Federal Reserve. So like anyways, so the banks, like, don't ever kid yourself. The banks own the game, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if we haven't figured that out yet, you're really not paying attention because, I mean, they beat their numbers every quarter. They make money hand over fist. I mean, look what happened to the subprime mortgage. I mean, again, I keep going back to it. If you haven't watched The Big Short, just watch it, right? They caused the entire collapse and still got bailed out. So,
Yeah.
anyways, there's my rant for this morning. And I'm not saying anything everybody doesn't already know, right? But that's the system within that we work within. And as long as you know that, right, you can hopefully, act appropriately. But
Yeah.
it is what it
Eh,
is.
Peter, and unfortunately, you would think everybody would know that, but they don't. If you're new to the
True.
game and you just came out of school, guess what? High school ain't gonna teach you this. No, they ain't. You're lucky if your college does.
Yeah.
But here's
Fair
one
enough.
that's really good. Yeah, it's a shame because I'm telling you, I came straight out of high school, straight out of college, did not know some of the stuff I learned after through
We,
just looking things up. It's a shame.
yeah,
And that could be a whole
it's
rant itself. We could
amazing.
do a whole hour on this education part.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far down a rat
Yeah,
hole, but it is amazing what we do not teach in schools. I firmly believe that we should be teaching in grade school and through high school financial literacy. I just don't understand. Everybody has to manage money, right?
right.
As you start adulting, everybody has to figure out how to manage a budget and manage money. Why the heck don't we teach the kids critical life skills like that. Like as
It's
much as people like to make fun of math, I think math is important, but like some of the calculus and
yeah,
algebra, I would be in favor of replacing that with just base financial literacy. So everybody's got budget know-how. And, what are banks? How do they work? How do you invest
right.
money? What do you do with money? How do you create and manage a budget? Like, anyways, never mind.
It's crazy. I mean, this really gets me going, man. You have my kids for almost 8 hours, and you can't take some time to teach them some of this stuff. I mean, just let's not even get started. It boils
I
my blood. But
If there's
friends,
one piece of advice,
hmm
not stock related, everybody listening right now that I can give you, if you've got kids, set aside time and take them
yeah,
through your household budget. I did it with my kids several
yeah,
times, and I think it helped them through adulthood. And they still come to me with questions about things. How do these things work? Why not help your kids? Give them a leg up, right? Give them
yeah,
some of that financial knowledge that you've probably earned the hard way, and that likely your parents didn't give you. If they did, then you're lucky. But why not? Show them, right? We don't often like to talk about money, but show them your budget. This is how much I make. This is how much we spend. This is what a vacation actually costs. When you
right.
think that you want to spend $300 a month on clothes, here's what you can't, then do. And things, anyways, like I do think that's, as a parent, that's one of the things you got to think about, because we often don't. It's sort of almost culturally taboo to talk about money. I
It
mean, heck,
is
there are married
crazy.
couples that don't talk about their
That's
budgets,
insane.
and
That's
you know
insane.
we got to
Yeah.
get past that. Anyways,
Absolutely.
all right.
For those that are a little bit older, if you want to look at this, this is a great show. It got a couple of episodes, really good. Titans, The Rise of Wall Street. It's on Netflix. I watched the whole thing, man. It's so awesome from the beginning of when trade started. Has a lot of great stories. So if you're new to the market, maybe and you don't know a lot of the background with the J.P. Morgans and these giants and how things got started,
You
how
keep
shorts got started. Even talk about how shorting stocks got started. Take a look at that, and it's pretty impressive. All right, friends, let's get to it. Gappers List brought to you by TradingTerminal.com, an amazing place you can get tons of information. Let's start with, I mean, I don't even know where to start here, man. This list is massive. Let's do this. Top five here, because we got some big numbers, and then we'll hop around and see what's gapping up. We'll talk about the banks, and then we'll do the bottom top five and see what's gapping, some of the big stuff that's gapping down. So let's start with the first one, ELAB. ELAB right now, we are up 93%, and this is after dropping almost half of their move this morning. So as high as 18.83, back down to 10, so already lost $8 plus from the high pre-market highs. I mean, just incredible. Still up 92%. Peter, what's your thoughts on this?
So, yeah, ELAB. So this is a P. I don't, why are they called ELAB? I guess it's on the lab thing. Anyways, this is PMGC Holdings Inc., a biotech company. They apparently have signed, or have agreed to, anyways, a letter of intent for an acquisition that they are making. But this is going to add about $4.5 million worth of annual revenue, and it increases their ability to deliver AI services. Everybody loves AI. So all I have to say is, you're investing in AI, even if it's an acquisition, and where acquisitions normally are, bring your company down, these days, if you're buying AI, right, you can get a boost. So you can see early sort of move up. They're coming right back down, though. I notice on the trading after the jump up early this morning. But still, all in all, pretty good news for ELAB. That being said, it is a low float. I mean, this is one that has 610,000 shares in the float, with a pretty small market cap. We're talking a sub $5 million market cap, or at least it did at the close yesterday. So I guess now that's close to a $9 million market cap based on the current price. Still, Carlos, this is one of those low float wonders you got to be very careful of. So if anybody's thinking of trading it, buyer beware. That this thing could be, yeah, could hurt you if you're not careful. So be careful.
Yeah, 100%. One that just pushed itself to the top here, GWAV. So this one's climbing a little bit higher, up 98% here, 9 million shares traded, hard to borrow. 55 million shares flow, so not that low as far as the flow goes. But obviously active today, Peter. Jumping up pretty nice here. The daily on this one, pretty quiet until today. So what's driving them this morning?
Yeah, Greenwave Technology Solutions. This is a waste management company. I don't know them. I don't think we've ever seen them on our list before. And not surprising, it's another one of these low float, under 500,000 shares. It's only got a $5 million market cap. Well, sorry, no, based on what's happening today. It closed the day yesterday at a $5 million market cap. Now it's up 100%. So it's got a $10 million, right? Sounds familiar? We just went through this with Elab. So the story is a little bit different. In this case, they increased their full year, their 2025 full year guidance. And some of the insiders apparently are buying some additional shares. So looks like that if I go down to the insider report, let's see, a couple of directors here are, wow, with weird names. Anyways, are buying more. The CEOs bought more shares. So looks like the insiders are adding it to their portfolios, thinking there's opportunity. And I guess, you know what? If it's being reported, that means they previously added. Pretty good decision. That being said, what the heck? What's the history on this? Yeah, see, why wouldn't you add? Obviously, they got some discount because I'm looking. The CEO added shares, bought 377,000 shares at 66 cents a share. Some of the other directors bought it either 66 or even 25 cents a share. So why wouldn't you? So
Yeah.
can you believe that? So the CEO bought. Let's calculate this. Hold on, 377,000 shares that they spent 25 cents a share on. So that means that it cost them like whatever 80, 90 grand, right? Oh no, sorry, 66 cents a share. My bad. They spent $248,000 buying these shares. And as of this morning, that little purchase is now worth 6.5 million. It's not a bad return.
Not bad at all, man.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. So,
Anyway,
all right, there it is. As far as trading, it's doing something, Peter. You're gonna have this on your list. It's not a low float. What's your thoughts?
oh yeah, it's a low float. 500,000 shares I see in the float.
I see 55 on GWAV. Am I looking at this
Hmm,
right? Hold on.
I
55.
don't know.
Yeah, I show 55. All right. Well, we'll keep it
Yeah, I
inside
see
for
that.
now.
I see it says a float of 55. I'm showing a float of 500,000. I don't know. There's some discrepancy there.
Sound
One way or the
discrepancy.
other.
Yeah, yeah.
Am I going to be watching it? Probably not. No.
Still don't like F55. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Let's take a look here at next one. NVA. So NVA. And let's take a look. New Nova Minerals. Minerals and rare earth metals are just on a tear. They are just on a tear, friends. Look at MP. Look at these other stocks that have been moving well on the daily. It's just incredible. I'm not sure this is involved with that, but their name, Nova Minerals, up 81% this morning. 2.5 million shares traded. Daily has been also cranking up pretty nicely here ever since mid-September. Looks like. Peter, what's driving them higher today?
Do you remember the one we were watching last week that was refining antimony or antimony? We didn't know how to. Number 51 on the periodic table of the elements, anyways. Apparently, they mine the same thing here, and they just got a $43.4 million contract from the U.S. Department of Defense and a land use permit. And this is what I've been talking about. It's always good when you have a deal with the government, especially when they can issue permits to allow you to mine. That's what you want, right? You want a partner that can sort of get rid of the legislation and the red tape that might prevent you from mining. So yeah, good news for them. We've seen these mining companies really jump up in the last little while. So it's going to be a roller coaster if you're trading any of these. Remember USAR, and we've got LAC, and now we've got this NVA, and there's a whole bunch of them out there that we've been looking at off and on. What was the was it UASM, I think, was the one that we were watching, wasn't it? No. U wasn't it? UAMY. That's the other one. United States Antimony. So yeah, I might have to keep a list of all of these rare earth metals because I think that this is going to be sort of a sector that where I used to avoid mining, it feels like these miners are going to be a little bit more in play over the next little while. So we'll
Yeah,
we'll keep an eye on them.
they're definitely in play. Here's one, USARs we spoke about, and then the other one, you, Amy, you, Amy.
MY.
There it is. Also on the daily again, just tearing that up here. Also 3.5. Yeah, just a lot of them in play. All right. Perfect. You know what? I have not watched many of these tickers. We got to look through and see which ones are the best ones to actually day trade. So Jared sent us some shots of his trades on some of these. He did pretty well
Yeah.
yesterday, shorting them some of them from the highs. So pretty good for him. And yeah, CRML is one that he did actually trade. So he did take a short, I think, in this area here and this one. But yeah, look at this one,
And
man. The
then we
daily,
can't forget our buddy
incredible.
MP.
Oh yeah, MP is another one as well. So it's so many that we could look at here. All right, let's see. Let's see what we come up with. Speaking of CRML, is another one making its way over here as well. You can see all of them here now, right? You, Amy, USAR. I mean, they are tearing
I
up
mean,
this
even
list.
you.
MP, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's
You.
uranium, energy
Yeah.
fuels, whatever it is. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
wow.
all over the place.
They are on fire. Are all of these the same? Aton, is it the same thing too? Not something different. Um, just no wonder this list is so massive. Okay, there you go. All right. Let's see what else. We'll have to watch some of these. We'll have to give us a second. We'll pick our favorite ones out of all these. We'll watch something from that list. NVTS is the last one we're gonna look at here, and then we'll hop around on our gap up list. NVTS. Navitas Semiconductor. So something different than minerals, unless they started mining too. Navitas Semiconductor, Peter, up 31%. 10 million shares traded. Again, when I think of semis, this is not the one that comes to mind, but maybe they have something exciting that we can look at. It started last night here after hours. You can see the nice pop. Why is this pink? All right. See a nice pop over here, and then continuing all the way to 14, and today trying to hold on to those gains.
Yeah, well, they whispered the magic term, Nvidia. That's all you
Ooh.
got to do these days. You got to mention Nvidia, and off your stock goes to the races. They unveiled some next generation power chips that support Nvidia's AI factory compute platforms. So, if if you're co-developing or developing systems that will enhance the top end chips that support AI, golden baby. So here you go, NVTS reaping the benefit this morning.
Unbelievable. Um, yeah. So I'm not sure how well this is going to trade. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it on here.
I
But
don't, not
yeah,
likely, not likely to
yeah.
be all that great. I don't think, although it looks pretty good pre-market. It doesn't look bad. 10 million shares, up 31%. I mean,
Oh,
might put it here. I'm not sure.
my goodness, I stand corrected here. Um, I was gonna say golden like the number one spot of Huntrix, but my goodness,
You're
has she
still,
exploded the
still
Billboard's 100? Taylor
you're
Swift, the
still track.
Swifties.
Oh my God.
She is
Wow.
taking over every spot in the Billboard 100 top 10. My
Is that
goodness,
real? That looks
that's
like
that's real. It looks fake. I thought it was fake. I had
fake.
to refresh it a couple of times, but I went to the right link.
Wow. Okay.
Okay,
Then
here we
what are you
go.
gonna
Nah,
do?
I can't do nothing about it. She's dropped my golden down to spot 13. What can we do? All right, friends. Let's see what else has is on this list here as we go lower. Peter, it's just a bunch of takers. I think it's all mineral stuff. Let's do this. Let's go to our top story today, which is the banks, right? See West Fargo is
Yep.
on here. JP Morgan is like up and down. It was red, it was green. Like it doesn't know what to do, even though it crushed earnings. But let's start with those two. Which one you want to go at first?
It doesn't really matter. Look, the story across all the banks is what I'd mentioned earlier. So whether you pick JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citibank, Wells Fargo, or even BlackRock, those are all the ones that reported. Um, they all have the same story. Beat their numbers top and bottom line. In some cases, putting in some record numbers. BlackRock, for example, they reached a record $13.5 trillion under management. They beat Wall Street forecasts on every number. JP Morgan, now JP Morgan's probably because they don't know what to do, only because Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of JP Morgan, is that right? Yeah, I think that's the CEO there. Um, yeah, he always is making strong comments, and one of the most followed CEOs of the banks these days. But and Jamie anyways, Dimon, Dimon, however you say that. And it was warned of uncertainty related to geopolitical tensions, tariffs, and inflation risks. Now, that sounds very familiar. I think Jamie has been warning of that for probably about a year now. Like I feel like it's been that same story. Well, maybe not the tariffs thing. Well, it feels like forever. Maybe it's just been the last like 2 quarters. Ever since the Trump administration came into power and announced their tariffs very quickly after taking the office. But it feels like I've heard this story before. Anyway, so notwithstanding the concern over geopolitical tensions and tariffs, the banks continue to make a lot of money. So I feel like there's warning. They're warning, but it's not yet having any bottom line impact. So do what you want with the banks. They're always a little more challenging to trade. Usually, Wells Fargo, not bad. It can move okay. I noticed it's got lower volume here this morning. It is a nicey stock. Well, I guess all of these are. JP Morgan, probably, yeah. I usually watch JP Morgan and Wells Fargo. I'm not exactly sure. Goldman Sachs and Citibank, GS and C are their tickers. Just don't trade quite or don't move quite as well. But I rarely trade any of them. Even if I watch them, it's not often that I get a move that I look at and say, that's something I want to, put money behind. So,
Yeah, yeah. 100% here. I will watch again. JP Morgan looks ugly today. This
yeah.
pre-market activity does not look pretty at all. I mean, I do want to watch one of these. Maybe West Fargo's the one to go to. This looks pretty nice. They had as far as positive news, that they had a very positive earnings. They all did, but JP Morgan, West Fargo seems to be reacting a little bit better. So I'm gonna watch that one on the main list today. I'll keep JP Morgan on deck, but it's just like you said, Peter. Normally, these stocks are not ones that we are quick to pull the trigger and trade here. All right, let's stop here on our gap up list. Peter, anything else you like off this massive list?
No, I mean, Gap Up is all seems to be mostly banks and mining companies today, and then of course your miscellaneous little biotechs that are there. So AI, banks, and biotech seems to be what's going on the Gap Up. Nothing else that I would point out because pretty much all the stuff I normally watch, all the tech, the actual tech stocks outside of some of the AI offerings, are pretty much all down. I think one that might be on your list, or probably just fell off the bottom of the list, is AMD. AMD was on the list earlier. It's probably not now because it just went under the 2% range there. But it's the only one of the semiconductors that is green this morning. All the other semis are down. AMD is green because they did announce, or they announced a major partnership with Oracle. I even feel funny saying major partnership because I feel like there's been like a dozen major partnerships. It seems to have diluted the word. It's like everything is awesome or everything is gigantic. Anyways, another major
So true.
partnership involving, Oracle's going to buy 50,000 AMD GPUs for their cloud AI services. And again, it feels like these companies, they're trading money back and forth and back and forth, right? So Oracle's going to buy 50,000 GPUs. You know, I AMD will then maybe include Oracle in their base configurations, or I don't know. I'm making stuff up now, but I just find that it feels like it's a circle. OpenAI keeps having these deals. Nobody quite knows how they're paying for it, but it's sort of like they signed a deal with Nvidia. Nvidia gives them $100 million. OpenAI then uses the $100 million to make another deal that is used to make another deal that's used to make another deal. Like it just feels like it's all it's that
It's
Three Stooges thing.
yeah,
Trade
they
money.
just I was gonna say, did you see that from who posted? I think the parody account from Jerome Powell and X. He posted that the Three Stooges situation. Here's your 20, here's your 10, here's your 20, and nobody's really getting paid. So very interesting. All right, there it is. As far as which one you be watching, AMD today, Peter?
Well, I'm always watching AMD, so yes, absolutely. But it won't stop me from watching Nvidia, and so those are my two go-tos on the semis. But
All right,
yes.
awesome. All right, friends, take a look at what's gapping down now. Right, so let's see what's gapping down here. Brought to you by TradingTerminal.com. Another list that's massive. Let's look at the top, maybe 4 or so, and then we'll hop around to some of the bigger names. STI this morning, it is down 11.7 after having such a big day yesterday. So still, again, big pops, just pulling back a little bit from the highs. 915,000 shares traded, hard to borrow. It is a massively low flow stock at 1.4 million shares flow. So again, be very careful on this one. Peter, anything you like on it?
No, I like their name, Solidion. I think that's a good name. Solidion Technology. Anyways, they had a good news thing where they announced some advanced battery technology that can be used for AI systems. Again, they just threw AI in there. I don't know if that's really what it's used for or just could be used for that. But they have announced that they're looking to expand their offerings to EV and energy storage sectors, which are hot sectors these days. So that's good. I don't know, there was some interesting talk about, there was a concern because they'd previously announced that they were going to be issuing more shares. The company's now come out, but there was no confirmation of that. The company's now come out and said, no, they're going to avoid any action that would significantly dilute the shareholdings, which implies that they're not going to issue more shares. But I don't know, I'm skeptical because, when the money gets good enough, they like to put more shares out there. I mean, this is a low float. I'm only seeing, they got 1.4, let's call it 1.5 million shares out there. There's lots of opportunity for money grab should they want to. And look, it's all one thing to say, no, we're going to avoid it. But look, they're only 2 days into their stock going from a $5 stock to a $20 stock. Money talks, baby. So it could get attractive for them. We'll see what happens. Am I going to trade this? No.
Yeah, same here. I don't like it. Next one on deck is BDTR. So BDTR this morning we are down 9%. I'm sorry, BTDR, correct. 683,000 shares traded. We've seen this before. Again, I have not really looked at it. I don't think it trades well.
It's been a while though.
What was that? Yeah, it has. Again, not a fan.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, so
no. No, every once in a while, this used to jump up a little more frequently. Bitdeer Technologies out of Singapore. I don't even really know. I mean, I guess it met the criteria, which is why it's here. I don't see any big news on it. They even have. Looks like they have an upgrade. BTIG just put them to a buy rating with a target price of $23 to $25. So that would be good news. Looks like there's a lot of option activity happening on Bitdeer. But other than that, I'm not sure why it's really here. Carlos, I think we can move on. In fact, you know what? I like this so little. Can we get the truck? We missed opportunities yesterday. We didn't throw enough out. This is what happens. Then you start hoarding stocks, and you don't want to be one of those people.
100%. We'll give that big old garbage truck there. That looks brutal. Question in chat: do we have the news to sell off? Yeah, I think the bigger sell-off here is happening because of China's comments of adding fees to imports. So they're adding some port fees. So so the way it happened is Trump said he's going to increase tariffs in China. Then he tweeted, then the stocks dropped. Then he tweeted on either Monday or over the weekend, China's going to be fine, stocks bounced again. And then China said, we're going to put tariffs or fees on certain imports from the U.S. And then the market dropped again. So that uncertainty is just back and forth right now. So I think that's the reason more for the sell-off is on that. The government shutdown, I even forgot the government was shut down, right? It's not even a thing unless you're not getting paid, which we'll find out tomorrow. right? Tomorrow is when the army and all the military is supposed to get paid. You know, the Trump administration is saying that they'll figure out a way to pay them, a non-conventional way to pay them. I don't know what that means, but tomorrow is when things will hit the fan if people that are protecting this country are not getting their paychecks. So
Well,
we'll see.
if you're a
We'll see how that
government
goes.
worker, then you definitely are feeling the government shutdown. Or apparently,
Yeah,
if you're traveling, I was seeing a lot of reports, Carlos, about apparently traveling right now in the U.S.
yeah,
is pretty brutal.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
so
traveling out of
because I
Newark,
mean,
it's
let's face
brutal.
it,
Even yeah,
yeah, TSA workers weren't always, didn't have the best disposition when things were going well. Throw on top of it, job uncertainty and the prospect of not getting paid. I can't blame them. It's going to make things pretty ugly if you're trying to jump on an old plane. Have you seen the interview going around where I can't remember who it was, some politician in the U.S. goes to interview a flight like an air traffic controller, and he's like, he's interviewing him, and he's like the air traffic controller. He's just like, anyways, he sort of makes fun of him, and I don't think the interviewer even realizes it because he's like, so what's the biggest thing what concerns you most? And he's like, well, unnecessary distractions. As he's having this interview,
mm-hmm.
and they're up in the control tower, and he's like, well, and I got to pay my bills, and the guy's like, yeah, you gotta. You said, yeah, well, I'm not sure how I'm going to provide for my family if I don't have a mortgage or if I don't have the money to pay the mortgage. And the guy's like, and you have electricity bills and car payments and blah. And he starts listing all these bills, and I'm like, dude, you're not helping, man. Just point
You're
them
not
out.
helping the
Just point out
situation.
how bad it is. Anyways,
Does he have
I
to
thought
help land that plane? Like,
very funny
come on now.
interview.
Oh
Yeah.
man, not good, not good.
Was
All
it
right, so
Sean Duffy? Was that yeah, could it
yeah,
be? I don't know. Somebody.
yeah. If there's one person you don't want to distract, is the air traffic controller. That's for sure.
You'd think so. My
Yeah,
dad
straight
was
up.
an air traffic controller, and he
Oh,
left
nice.
air traffic control to be a teacher because he said it was a lot less stressful. So how's that? Like that's
Oh yeah, dude. You gotta. So I again, I'm an aviation fanatic. I log into the frequency, especially on bad days like this one, where there's a lot of missed approaches. It's crazy. I don't know how people keep up. It's insane. The back and forth with the code. It's just wild, wild. All right, friends. Let's see what else on this gap down list. I mean, anything you like, Peter? We'll go to you. Anything you like on this gap down list? I mean, I see Bitcoins all over this thing. Riot,
yeah.
Mara. What do you
Well,
like on here?
we talked about this yesterday. Remember, we were talking about the Bitcoin, how the Bitcoin had sort of a bad weekend, and Bitcoin prices had dropped, and we weren't yet seeing it in the Bitcoin offerings. And I think this is the catch up. That's often what we see is that they tend to lag change in Bitcoin. It's interesting how when Bitcoin prices go up significantly, when they spike up, the stocks tend to follow pretty quickly. When they go down, there's a lag in that. And I think we're just seeing the lag take effect. Plus, with a lot with the general market being down today, I think that's also sort of helping. So push it downward. But I don't see anything really special. I mean, you can flip through. I see a clean spark on it. CLSK, MSTR, Mara. I just looking at all of them. Nothing is really leaping out at me as a must trade. So yeah, I don't see a lot there. The semis we talked about, again, they're all gapping down, but are actually looking relatively strong. So I sort of like the way they set pre-market. It feels like they really gapped down heavy overnight. Well, they did, and then this morning they're making a little bit of a comeback, which could lead to some good trading. So Nvidia's always top of the list for me. We talked about Broadcom yesterday. If you guys were paying attention, you noticed that Broadcom had that big deal with OpenAI to introduce the 10 like terawatts, gigawatts, megawatts, whatever, a bunch of big watts. I can't even remember now. Anyways, whatever it was 10 of them. Anyways, of compute power that they were putting online, and so that was the news yesterday. But I don't think it'll be in play again. I go back to Nvidia. SMCI can often just be fun if you're looking to trade something that's a little crazier. But I'm going to focus on Nvidia, and then of course AMD, being that they have the news. Tesla. Tesla's gapping down 2.3% on good volume today. Nothing no big news on Tesla. Although, aren't we looking for news? I mean, whatever happened with they were releasing the next generation of their self-driving vehicle to only their fourth generation vehicles. I didn't really. Well, that was last week. What happened? I guess it worked. The cars are driving themselves a little bit better. Is John out there? He's got one. What happened? It feels like it just sort of it was announced and then everybody's like and then nothing. We sort of moved on with
Yeah.
life. So I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I
what.
don't think the driving thing was such a big deal because the one they had was pretty good already. I think it was just the release of this cheaper car that might increase sales. But again, the self-driving stuff is, you're making improvement, but it's not really, you're not jumping leaps now, right? Because it's really good at the moment. So I think it's just an affordable new car. We'll see how those sales go. But yeah, it's pretty quiet after that announcement of an affordable car. So
It has
unless
been. So
unless Peter, we already had some of that built in. I mean, remember Tesla had this huge jump here, right? Yes, Elon Musk getting a new package deal. People, kind of doubling down on Elon being, part of the board, CEO, all that good stuff. Maybe some of that was built in. Who knows? I mean, they have had an incredible last couple of months, man. Given to where they were at 220, now
yeah.
at 425. So we'll have to see. But nevertheless, always a great stock to watch for intraday opportunities. Down 2.3 this morning, 3.1 million shares traded. I think it's worth having on deck this morning. All right, Peter, anything else?
One stock that's been a little more interesting than normal is Google. Google's usually one of the sort of the Magnificent Seven that I don't pay a lot of attention to, but yesterday it had some good price action higher. On a daily, it's looking a little flat, but that price action yesterday was encouraging, and just I feel like it's poised. It's been very quiet for Google, hasn't it? Like we haven't heard big announcements, a lot of big news. They're still out there with lawsuits and things happening. They are. They announced this morning that they are investing $24 billion in AI infrastructure, including 15 billion in AI hub in India and 9 billion in a US based expansion. So it's one of these where Google is one of the few companies that can announce a $24 billion investment program and people not be worried, because usually that much money they'd be worried about, well, it's debt financing, right, where they've got the cash, right? Like again, 24 billion for Google at this point it's a big number for most companies. For them, they're like, yeah, whatever, we're making it happen. We'll put a couple, 24, maybe 25 billion, maybe 30 billion if we're feeling good on the day, Gotta love Google. Anyways, um, so
Yeah,
yeah, might be
yeah,
worthwhile.
awesome. I will put them on a secondary list here and see where that goes. I'm having a hard time with my list today. When it looks like this in the gap up and down, really don't know what to put on here. So we'll see. I'll continue to build as we move forward with the show here. All right, let's go to you guys. What do you guys like this morning? So I see CRML and MP. We talked about this earlier, right? Is the rare metals that are just taking off today. I think it might be worth watching some of these.
Uh,
CRML though, we can't short this one, so I wouldn't pick this one to be on my list. Not shortable today. We've interactive brokers. Let's take a look at MP. MP, Peter. I think today could be an MP type day. So I am going to put MP on the list, and not for revenge trading, but these metals are in play, right? These rare metals, whatever, are in play. So I think MP is one of the ones that gets better volume, can day trade very well. So we'll see how that goes. And I do have shares for sure sitting in the New York Stock Exchange. So you got to be careful with the price action the way it is. And some of these are sitting even on the American Stock Exchange. We saw some of those there
yeah,
as well. So a little bit
I noticed that.
different. Yeah, I did notice that as well. So a little bit different there. How about UAMI? Just curious. UAMI. All right, that's the
It's
one.
US.
American
It's
Stock
American
Exchange.
Stock Exchange. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one more G. Is it GWAB? Is it this one? No, it's something else. Okay. All
No.
right. USAR.
NVA
Sorry.
was the one from
Yeah.
today. That's
Yeah, and USAR as well. That's NASDAQ. So, all right, perfect. All right, so I'll look at MP. I think that's the one that looks pretty good. This one, USAR, also could be pretty nice as well. So maybe we'll look
yep.
at those two today. All right. What else, friends? So, yeah, we'll take a
Uh,
look at that.
I was just checking my earnings sheet, Carlos, and outside of the banks, we do have earnings from a couple other things. I'll just mention for everybody: Johnson and Johnson, J&J had earnings, beat their numbers, top and bottom line. That's good news. I mean, this is more Johnson and Johnson is more, sort of stable, stuff. They raised their guidance for the year, so that's good news. They've actually had a relatively good run. I mean, this would have been a good stock to have just put some money into over the summer and let it rest because they've, stably gone up from 150 to 190 where they're sitting now. So that's good news. Ericsson was another one. Eric is their symbol, and they are dual traded. This is the of course Swedish phone company we all know, or handset device company, I guess is what we think of them here, but they also have other business avenues. But they had earnings early on. They also announced a major partnership with Vodafone. So that seems to be pushing them higher. Most of it happening overseas, and this is just the North American stock catching up. And last but not least, Domino's Pizza, the pizza that everybody loves to hate. I don't remember the last time I've ever had a Domino's pizza. Does anybody are they that bad? I don't
Well,
know. I
what is it? Their ticker again? DPZ. Oh, yeah, I
DPZ.
remembered
DPZ.
DPZ. Yeah, DPZ. There you go.
Yeah, DPZ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Domino's Pizza had earnings, and they beat their numbers, beat on revenue, beat on bottom line earnings. Oh, Drew 8 had a Domino's Pizza last night. Oh, and North Plains says they're great. I don't know. It feels like Domino's is always beat up on that, and Papa John's. People love to beat up on them, and I don't really go to either one. I always use local pizza shops here that we've got. My go-to is like Gabriel's Pizza, which is there's a local. It's an Ottawa thing, but there's a couple of others. Colonnade Pizza is another Ottawa one that I would go to, but you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyways. Uh, General Jim says Domino's sucks. Go to a real Italian pizzeria. So, uh, Eddie, I bounce back and forth. My natural inclination is to say Zed, but I know that I talk to a lot of my American friends here, so I try and intersperse it with some Z's so you can understand me. But anyways, Jesse says we never know what you're talking about. All right, fair enough. In any event, I was just curious. Anyways, Domino's, love them or hate them. Look, they do $1 billion worth of pizza a quarter. That's a lot of pizza. So they certainly have a big business. Whenever I think Domino's, I have to admit, I think of all places, Hobart in Australia, which is in Tasmania. Because, like, I think the first time I ever ordered Domino's pizza in my life was from Domino's in Hobart, Australia, when we were just desperate for food, and it was the only thing that was open. So, and I have to say, it wasn't that good. But maybe it's not representative of the Domino's chain. I really don't know. Oh, oh my God, we got a poll going. All right, we got a poll in the chat room. Do you like Domino's? We're gonna see. We'll see what the majority says. I'll let you know. But anyways, they had earnings. Not a good trading stock, but we probably spent more time talking pizza than we need to. But there you go. Those are the earnings, Carlos, that I thought I should let you know. But again, the big earnings today, just for anybody that's just joining us, it's pretty much all the banks, right? So all the banks, or most of the big banks, reported today, all but Bank of America, which always likes to report separately. But J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and BlackRock were the big ones that all reported this morning. So a lot of banks going on. Yeah, always tough to trade. So approach with caution. All right.
All right, friends.
Yeah, what do you guys like? Anything we haven't talked about? I seem to have spurred an entire pizza conversation here, and a pizza. We even have, I said, the poll going in the chat room. So Carlos, it's going.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
I
see.
really want to see the results. How long are you gonna keep that poll open? I don't even know who put
Oh,
the poll
not
in.
long. I did. Not long. I'm gonna
Oh, you
do it
did?
right
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
270 votes so far, and you'll be surprised, man.
Little Caesars.
You know.
It's funny. It seems like everybody loves to hate the big pizza chains. I forgot about Little
I
Caesars.
don't
Yeah,
know
they
why.
advertise
I don't know
heavily.
why, man. I had Pizza Hut. I had Domino's. I had Italian
Uh,
pizza. I had New York pizza. I'm not a hater. No, they're different. They're different. Yes, they're now one is better than the other, but they're not
I
bad.
don't.
They're not like to the point that, oh
I
my
don't.
God, I can't eat this anymore. No, no, no. I even
Yeah,
had
I
you
don't
know what pizza's
regularly
good?
eat any of them, so I
Chuck E.
don't.
Cheese pizza. Chuck E.
Yeah,
Cheese? You been to Chuck
I
E.
don't know.
Cheese? Oh man, it's one of the best pizzas you go to, depending where you go. They got it right. They specialize in pizza, man. It's really good. So I'm not a hater. Yes, it's New York pizza from from uptown East Side, the best pizza you ever had. Absolutely, it doesn't make Papa John's bad, And how can you mess up pizza, right? It's I don't know. All right, friends. Here's the
You
poll.
know,
So yeah,
I've had like 3 a.m. pizza on the street of New York for like $1 a slice, and
exactly.
I'm
The
sure if I
best.
had it like right now, it would be absolutely horrible. But I'm telling you, in that moment, it was absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
So
Over
sometimes,
300 votes, and there it is. The people have spoken.
okay,
54% does like Domino's pizza, and 46 does not. So it's and I'm sure part of that 46 probably prefers Papa John's instead of Domino's. So it's not bad. All right,
yeah,
friends. Peter, I have
all
my
right,
my list is West Fargo, Tesla, MP, USAR, JP Morgan, Google. I'm sure I'm gonna add AMD and Nvidia and some other ones as we move forward. But yeah, let's
yeah,
take a look at what we have scheduled for this beautiful cold Tuesday. Let's go over here,
yeah.
variabletraders.com.
We
Head
spent a
over
lot
to
of time
webinars.
blabbing
Yeah,
this morning, and I'll take responsibility for that. But yeah, so guys, it's Tuesday. It feels like a Monday to me, but it is Tuesday. So we've got a couple of things to look at. Strategy and trade book is what we focus on today. And if you want to join in a number of sessions, we've got a couple. We've got the small account option trade book, which happens in the webinar room for you at 11, and then we have our DAS Trader Pro. Configuration and setup class. It's if you want to understand how to use DAS, it's a great platform, but you can always use help. It's a little arcane. It's tough finding some of the features. Brendan can help you through that. That's at noon in the onboarding room. And then it looks like we've got what's happening here because I've got two things registered in the webinar room at the same time. So both can't happen, but something will be happening at 11 a.m. Oh no, that says 8. Maybe I just can't read it to my eyeballs. All right, so 8 o'clock tonight. Looks like Thor's taking over, and he's going to do VPA work in the webinar room tonight at 8 p.m. So that's our big evening webinar. So you hopefully will be able to have some time to attend that with Thor at 8 o'clock. So 11, 12, and 8. If you want to join us in Bearable Traders, go to the website, bearabletraders.com. You can find the different membership options from the intro right through the Elite Annual. We still have the fall sale, I think. Hopefully, Carlos, if you scroll down, you can confirm that we still have the fall sale going on in the Elite Annual.
I saw it
And you
there
can
last
take.
night. Yeah, yeah, it's there.
Okay,
There it
good.
is.
Because we never know. We never know till we go check ourselves. And there it is, though. Fall 50 is the code. You should be able to get that discount only on the Elite Annual. So if you want to take advantage of that, now is the time. And of course, don't forget, tradingterminal.com is a place to go for all of your information needs for if you're an active trader. It's great. I've got the scanners going just like Carlos does that we look at in the morning to tell us what's moving. Of course, we use the Atlas function, which gives us a view into market volumes, and it's and then there's so many other things, right? The Academy of courses that you can take in there. It's got the simulator and the replay mode that you can use to practice and test. And of course, it's got the calendar of events, which I rely on to understand what's happening from the economic calendar, which reminds me, by the way, that Powell is speaking at 12:20 today. So remember that, all right? That's the only thing of importance that's on our economic calendar for today, as reported by TradingTerminal.com. And then, of course, we can't forget the earnings calendar, which shows us there's stuff coming up. So we're getting back into earnings season here, starting with a lot of the banks here this morning, and of course, Domino's Pizza. So there we go.
Yeah.
Carlos, let's set a couple levels. We're getting right up to the 5 minute mark, so we're running short of time. I'm not sure if Andrew and Brian want to jump in. If they do, they can do any time into the chat room here and take over. We'll
Yeah,
give them
and
the
actually,
reins there as soon as they do. We'll
we'll
keep
switch
going.
now. I see Andrew's got his screen raised, so we'll hop off now. Give these guys time to
Okay.
settle in. So take care, guys. Good morning. All right, let's stop it here, and I'm gonna mute Andrew, and perfect. All right, friends. All right, let's get some levels in place. We got a couple of minutes here. I was looking at AMD. I might add that to the list as well. And actually, I will. I'll add it to the list also. AMD. All right, let's start with West Fargo. West Fargo this morning. Let me sure I got my daily. Perfect. So West Fargo again, it looks better than JP Morgan as far as intraday action. So I have the pre-market 82.32. A low is down at 77.50, pretty much close to a good support level. If you could see right on here, look at all the support you have in this area. Next level below that is going to be 77.12, and then down here at 77.66. Right, we got to go a long way down there if this thing does decide to not move higher. On the way to the top, if we continue 83.17, and then we also have 83.85. Within the high and the low of the pre-market, you do have some levels here that I think are worth marking down. One is going to be at 79.87, right? You see a couple of days on there. And the other one that's not listed is going to be this 81.30, another great level as well for West Fargo. So we'll see what ends up happening for West Fargo. I do like that one today. But again, we are aware these banks do not trade very well. So we're going to be very cautious in watching these. Here is Tesla. Just going to mark down the high of the pre-market and the low. The high is at 428.74. The low is at 421. And that's all you need. You're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days. You don't really need to add much on here. There's plenty of levels to go around for Tesla. Next is going to be USAR. I got a couple of rare metals here. USAR is one of them. Again, these stocks they're in play. They've just been rocking. As far as intraday, I have not really watched them besides MP a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two back. I have not really watched like USAR, any of these rare metals tickers. So we'll do it today. Let's see what comes out of that. 41.27 is the low of the pre-market on this one. The high is pretty much slamming into right where the high is from yesterday, so you don't have to worry about that. And then towards the bottom, highs and lows for the last two trading days. Next on the list is going to be, am I missing one here? MP. I missed MP. Let's go back. MP is another one, as I mentioned before, another U.S., not U.S., but rare metals company that's been in play here. 104.94 is the level up here. And then towards the bottom, we're looking at 97. Volume has clearly increased on this thing. You see it here. The way it's been moving has put in a couple of really nice days in here. Let's see how it day trades today. I'm hoping to have better luck than we did last time when we traded this bad boy. So MP on deck. And then last but not least is going to be AMD. So AMD continues to try to hold to their gains of this gap up they had not so long ago. High of the pre-market pretty much towards the high of yesterday, so I'm not going to worry about that. Plenty of levels here, plenty of levels towards the top. The only thing that's missing to add here is the low of the pre-market down at 208. 208.70, and then just one more level in case we do fall below the previous day close here and go lower. 203.97 off the daily. So there it is, friends. A minute and a half to the market open, and we are ready to go. Peter, what's our team watching?
Our team, yes, indeed. They're starting to get their list together here. And let me just scroll over so I can see it, and I'll let you know. I'll start with my list. I'm watching Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD, PLTR, Wells Fargo, and I'll keep an eye on MP. Eamon has said he's going to be watching Tesla. Brian, who's trading live, is going to be watching CRML, RGTI. Oh, look at old Rigetti. Tesla, NVIDIA, and AMD. Andrew's got his list. He thinks NVIDIA, AMD, Tesla, CRML, Rigetti, and Ericsson might be topic offerings to watch. And then Jared is going to be watching, what has he got? MP, CRML, and AMD. Gary's got MP, AMD, and Tesla. So many people have MP, Carlos. I mean, I guess we have to watch it now, don't we?
It looks good
So,
today, man. It really does. Yeah.
yeah. So there. Anyways, we got a couple other mods with their lists in. Being that we're 30 seconds away from the open, let's get focused here. I don't have anything particularly that I'm going to be watching heavy at the open, but we'll just see what happens here. MP may be a rising devil. It seems to be dropping a little bit. See if we can get a pop higher, back up over 100, and then maybe another sell-off. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to. I'm going to try, Carlos, not to jump the gun too much on these things,
Yeah, agreed.
but we gotta be here. Here we go. Where is NP? I need to buy an NP. It is a New York Stock Exchange stock, so I need some volume.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
need some volume into this bad boy. And meanwhile, see what Nvidia does. Nvidia that was looking strong pre-market is dropping here. AMD hasn't really gone anywhere.
Yes, it is time. All right, I'm looking at MP. We'll see what takes place here. Volume's not bad for New York Stock Exchange. It might get even better in minute two. Hopefully it does.
Yeah, we'll see. 300,000 shares, so that's like you said, not that bad.
All right, all right. Good morning, Byron, over on YouTube. Good morning, good morning. Good to have you. Allison, good morning.
Oh my goodness.
And Prasanna Kumar, good morning. All right, friends. All right, here it is. MP. What do we like? What do we like on MP? Nothing right now. And this
I'm
1 minute in golfing is not a.
I'll admit I am short. I am short MP
Oh,
Carlos. I got a
very nice.
partial. Oh, here
Oh,
we go.
beautiful.
Taking another partial. Revenge
Ah,
is mine.
yes, Peter. Yes. I'll get mine in a
All
second
right.
here.
Let me put MP on the screen here.
Very nice, very nice.
Here we go. Here's my MP. Oh my God. Let's take another partial.
Yeah, beautiful trade, Peter.
Yeah,
Beautiful
baby.
trade. NP for the win. Oh,
Oh.
it's going. It's going. We're gonna wait for a pullback, see if we could join the party. As it breaks down here below the previous day close. Looks
I was saying that I wasn't
it's
going to
interesting.
trade right at the open, but
Yeah.
then I saw that hesitation. It didn't get to the 100 level that I was looking for,
Mm-hmm.
but it got close enough that it made sense for me to jump in, I felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there we go. Yeah, there we go. So good entry. Hopefully I can hang out here. If this thing stays below VWAP, or sorry, below
Or
previous
below the
day
previous day
close.
close. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my hope that I can maybe stay in this, maybe even add to this trade right
Yeah.
lower, but we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of room. Remember, yesterday's close was 95 and
Had a
it opened
huge.
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, it could move all the way down to 85. I'm not trying to get too excited here, but we'll see what we get.
Definitely has the room. I'm waiting for a
Yeah,
pullback to our 5 minute RB, but this is highway to hell right now, friends. You're not getting any
I
pullbacks.
know. Oh,
That's worth
$5 to the good on my trade.
yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Duck, welcome to the Lambos and Garbage Truck family, my friend. Reminder, when Andrew comes on today, he
Baby.
might give away something. So, for the Lambos and Truck members. So, welcome to the family. All right, Eric, good morning to you. Let's see here.
Oh,
So I'm
oh,
searching.
hot
Wow,
diggity. We gotta level
everything's,
down. We got the halt
yeah,
level coming up at 90.90. I'm gonna take another partial down here.
yes,
I have to
yes.
add to it. Do I want to hold into this if we get halted? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
hell yeah. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
All
You want
right.
to hold.
Okay.
No question.
Okay.
And there's a
Let's
sell off
see.
happening
90.90.
too. Like you can see the SPY selling off a
Yeah.
little bit. Tesla's feeling
Here
the
we go.
pressure. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, hold that
here
bad
comes the
boy.
level down.
I see
Level
it.
down on MP. I
Yeah.
haven't been in a stock that's halted, Carlos, in a very long time. So
Same. It's been a while for me. I can't remember.
I'll hold here.
Yeah.
That level down hasn't moved. If they can hold this long enough, that level down will move. So there you go. I think the level down just popped. Yeah, it just moved down another dollar to 180. Sorry,
Yeah.
to 89.99. So oh
Checking out
wow,
AMD for a possible short
hot
here. We got a couple of seconds left.
hot damn.
Let's see if we see a good sell off on AMD. Oh, it might not give us an opportunity to wait. 5 seconds left. Come on. Don't do
Wow,
it
what a
just yet.
sell-off on Nvidia. Looks like the good news on AMD is was just what the only thing that's holding it here
Yeah.
is Nvidia really sold off.
Oh, man. It's not going to hold. I want to wait for the 5 minute ORB on this thing, and It seems like it's just selling off.
Wow.
West
Wow.
Fargo, Tesla.
Are we there we go.
There it is.
We just hit
Halt
it.
that bad boy.
We oh no, they saved it.
They moved it down.
They moved it
8908.
down.
No, it's got to get
Oh,
halted now. There it
89.
is.
Now, no, they saved it again.
No,
Oh,
it's
good.
gonna happen. Here's what we're looking at, guys. This level two. Come on, halt it, baby. Get in there.
Oh,
Wow.
see, they keep just saving it.
Oh man.
Oh, I am like, oh man,
Here it
if
is. One more,
only I
one more shot. One more shot.
only I hadn't partialed every time, eh? I'm like, if only I hadn't partialed so aggressively. But
I
I am
know.
so
This is a big time trade, Peter. This is very nice. Very, very nice. 8801
wow.
still there. Ah, they keep holding. They keep pulling it back.
Yeah.
Keep pulling it back.
I wanted to get caught in a halt just for the experience. I wanted to feel that
Uh,
tingly feeling of waiting.
how they well they stop it from halting where people start buying it up, right? They don't really stop it
Yeah.
from halting.
Yeah.
It's just people buying it up. We don't know if somebody's actually there to say,
What?
"Oh, buy," so it doesn't halt, right? We just use that terminology. You
No.
never know
I
what
mean
really is happening,
they
you know?
can. What you need is, yeah, so on a level down, basically if the selling was to push the price through the level down, then it would automatically halt when it hits that level. All they need to do is they need to buy a couple of cents above that halt level, and that pushes it slightly higher, right? And then it
Yeah,
resets the number after the time, because every minute it recalculates.
yeah.
So,
Like now it's down at 87.13 now. Yeah, but what I'm saying is like
right.
we don't know if somebody's actually out there trying to stop it from halting, right? It
True.
could just be
True. Yeah.
buyers just buying, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
and in some cases it could be somebody
Um,
manipulating it. You never know. You never know.
It could be, yeah. We don't know. This is a New York Stock Exchange stock, which means that the market maker is probably more active in this than they,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
and
Yep.
has more control than they normally do, like on a Nasdaq type stock. So this
Yep.
is great, Carlos. I am pretty
Wow,
much out of
man.
shares here though, because this moved a lot farther than I
This
expected.
is yeah, man. This is
So
awesome. Awesome,
so
awesome.
I don't know what to do. I don't know whether I should just take it all off here, like third minute now, first time that it's ever had a
Yeah.
pullback and. I'm like, how much more can I really expect out of this thing? I'm $8.50 to the good.
Yeah, it's awesome. There it is.
Maybe,
But now the limit down is at 86.26 now, so it's a little bit lower.
well, maybe I'll wait. If I get $10 on these on the last portion, I'll just take it all off then.
Yeah. Did
Can't
you move
argue
your
about 10
stop to
bucks.
like what, 91 or something? What's your stop now? Did you move it?
No, my stop is still at my break even.
Okay.
You can see it on my screen there, but I mean, I'll probably stop it out earlier. If it gets up
Yeah.
above 93, I'd probably just stop out.
Yeah.
But But we'll see. I mean, I think if it bounces, I mean, I don't know. Should I just leave it? I mean, if it bounces up really fast, there might be an opportunity to add to the short. Then
Mm,
I could,
mm.
but we'll see.
We'll see.
See what
See how it
happens.
plays out.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
10,000. I wish I had 10,000 shares in this. No, I'm I'm uh I'm very light on because I wasn't quite sure about the initial move, so I only took a couple hundred shares to begin with, so I'm down to like 50 shares, which means I'm pretty
yeah.
much
Yeah.
just I'll just get out if
Yeah, I do see that. I'm watching AMD closely. It's pulling back here, and we are getting somewhat of a bounce. I see Andrew is in on AMD. Took a quick short on Nvidia on the drop. Just scalp that, so that's nice. Yeah, look at AMD. Andrew's already in on this, but I'm thinking about it as well. I like the 5 minute golf that might be coming up here. I like the VWAP possible breakout. So there's a lot looking good on
yeah.
AMD, especially if the market continues to push higher, right? The market's putting in a little bit of a bounce. So let's see. It'll be important what happens here at this VWAP. I don't like it below the VWAP though. I gotta admit. But let's see. Let's see. This market's a little hesitant right now, and I will not go
Yeah.
short against Andrew. I'm not doing that. And that's I'm not going against the Andrew indicator. I'll tell you that much. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to trade against Andrew.
No, I'm not doing that. I'll look for something else. No, 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 no. Too many times I done that, and it's gotten me. Ben, the Android indicator, 100%. We do have an Android indicator. You guys can't see it, but in the chat, I have the chat up right here, so I do see it. Um, and yeah, he's got a atlas and everything else up here. Yeah, POTR. Wow, somebody mentioned POTR in
Oh,
chat. Let's see. I have not looked at POTR in a couple of days. Great 5 minute RB short. Um, but don't see anything great right now. As for MP, Peter, oh, I did pull back. Yeah,
yeah. I've decided to ride it out. We'll see. I'm hoping for an
might as
ad,
well. Yeah, for
and
50
then
shares, it doesn't matter, right? And if you can add,
no,
even better. So,
it's not a big deal. And then, I'd love to get that ad opportunity. So I want to see
mhm.
if it gets all the way back to VWAP, that then for sure I'll add, and if it goes higher, then it'll stop me out.
Yep.
If it starts to move lower earlier, then I've got to make a decision. But feels like the move higher is slowing down here.
Yeah. Yeah, Wells
Where's my
Fargo's messy.
where's
What
my
did JP
clock?
Morgan do? JP. Wow, no trades for me, friends, yet. JP Morgan, nothing. No trades for me. What is going on? NP. If the market continues to sell off, NP could be a good place to add, and a good place to probably re-short it for me, or not re-short it, but get into a short. I kind of like that. All right, Atlas, what are you
All
telling
right.
us on MP?
I've added. I just doubled my size and added, which puts
Mm,
my stop just above VWAP. So we'll see if that's a good decision or not.
I'm gonna join you in
So
that
far, it's a
trade,
good
Peter,
decision.
because I think it is. So I'll join you in that trade.
It's a risk though. Just
Yeah,
know that this. Remember, this is like a multi-dollar because even when I got in with
yeah.
this relatively small size, I was down like $800 really fast. So
I know
because
these stocks. Yeah, you can make good money, but yeah, the pullback.
yeah.
That was me on the other ticker last week that I realized. Oh snap, this thing is moving. I forgot what ticker it was, but it was one of these where you can get a dollar, two, three, very very quickly. So all right, Oklo. Was it
Yeah.
Oklo, Mohammed? Yeah, I think it was Oklo, and I kind of as soon as I got in, I immediately got nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, took too much on this. uh, oh boy. All right, I'm with you, Peter. Let's see here. I'm in at 92, 75 ish. Let's see if we can get the drop. So far, looking okay.
Yeah. I don't like this support here. I'd like for it to get a little more distance from our entry area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we got to give it a little time, right? The volume is dying down a little bit, so it might take a little bit longer to
Yeah.
actually make the move. Um, I don't
And
know
we
if
have
we're
to
gonna
remember
get.
this is a sector that's
It's
still
hot,
strong, right?
very
So
hot. Oh yeah, very hot, and so we got to be aware of that for sure. All right, I'm looking for the low of the day, 89. Um,
yeah.
that's a big move. This stock can move. Let's see here. And Atlas, I got tons of orders at 91, but you could see the difference between a stock that we normally watch and something like this one on Atlas. You're just not gonna get a lot of information, right?
Yeah. I noticed that I was
And
looking it up on Atlas and
yeah,
really there's
it's
nothing.
very
I mean,
scattered. It's not an AMD or Nvidia, that's for sure. So on tickers like this, it doesn't work as well like you would have it with, yeah, look at this, it's scattered all over the place. That's just popping up here. Let's see if it's gonna stop me out. Yeah, so 250. That's too much. Maybe 10.
So, what is AMD doing here? AMD is
Yeah, Atlas not gonna give you
really
much on this thing. Tesla's
AMD
Tesla.
is
Let's
really
see.
stuck. AMD is stuck in the what I call the no man's land, which is stuck between previous day close and the VWAP, which is not a good place for a stock to
Which one?
be. So
Which one you said?
AMD,
Oh,
AMD.
yeah. I'm glad I didn't take a short. I almost took a short, and it went right back to the VF. So I'm really glad I did not join that for a breakdown. And it was tough there with the previous day close. If anything, it's looking long. Um, if it can get above
Well,
the
Andrew
VWAP
thinks
here,
it's long. He's going
I
long
think
again,
so
but
too.
I'd be
Yeah,
worried about the support at VWAP. If it gets up above it, then maybe you can look at
yeah.
ideally you'd get a move higher, a pullback. Oh, Andrew's
But
partialing here.
that's exactly what I
Yeah.
would like to see is this move here, the pullback, uh, and then the confirmation. So on AMD, I'm just looking for the setup here before I join the trade. Still short on MP. Let's see what MP does. Struggling here. I don't like the way the setup is looking now
No, it
for
was looking
MP.
good for a minute there, but
See this rejection?
it's
What is this on
but you
AMD?
just never know. This is probably not the best time to be in the trade because the volume's
Yeah,
dying down
yeah,
quite a bit. And now the market maker is going to be free to move this thing wherever they want, right? Because they don't have all this competing volume. So that's probably not good. And my guess would be the market maker probably wants to push this thing green,
yeah.
but who knows? They might want to sell off a
Oh,
bit so they can scoop up some more shares at a better price. That's what we're hoping. So let's see what happens.
sorry guys, I was stuck. Yeah, look at AMD's. Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't join that. Uh,
Wow, wow! Look
what
at that
the
move down, eh?
heck?
On AMD.
Look at that rejection,
Yeah,
man. I mean,
yeah.
I couldn't hold, huh? Yeah, Ben, it's good. I mean, unless you did like Andrew, did, right? Andrew got in pretty early on the way to 219.50 with with the way he's trading it, he was able to take a couple of parcels and did very well. But look at this candle we just put in. All right, I'm watching MP closely because my stop might get hit pretty quickly. This thing shoots up, so I'm looking at 95 ish. I don't want to go in green. I want that previous day close to act as support, as resistance, excuse me. So I don't want
Yeah.
that going green. Um where right now it looks like it wants to push higher. It's funny, as nasty as AMD looks, I just have a feeling this thing is gonna shoot up to at least the high of the pre-market. As nasty as it looks, like it's not trading great, but it just keeps
No,
coming
but
right
it's
back up to the VWAP.
yeah, AMD is a good like if you're willing to take the risk, you play the range, right? So
Yeah,
basically you go long at previous day close, and if it pops, then you get a big move. If not, you start taking some off at VWAP just as a protection and you can play that range, right? So
yeah, that's true too.
but it's not a style of trading I normally use, but I don't know that anybody, well, none of the mods in our room trade that way. You do range trading, but it's a valid strategy. It's just,
Yeah,
it's one of those where it works really well when it works, but when it doesn't, you can spend a lot of your trades will get stopped out. So it's got a low win percentage, but when it does work, you can get like a whole bunch in a row, right? Where it just bounces
yeah,
between these ranges.
yeah. All right,
So yeah,
MP sent from my stop
MP,
here, 95. The
yeah,
previous day close, so I'll be bailing on it. But AMD, I think AMD is gonna shoot up. But
it
I
does
want
feel
my
like it wants
yeah,
to.
but I want my setup to happen. I just feel like if my setup is gonna take place, it's probably gonna go and not gonna give us a good pullback. Just because it's winding down to a point. Here's why I like it when it's doing this, when it's doing this,
Yeah.
and it comes to it. When it's doing this here, the breakout might just happen, and I give you a whole lot of pullback. So, um, That's the concerning part. Man, that's good. That's great. I really think there's some play here. All right, that's good. MP right at 95. Let's see here. Are we gonna go below the previous day
Yeah,
close?
I
If we're not, I'm
said
gonna stop out.
said it was unfortunate that
Yeah,
I said the market maker looks like they wanted to push this thing back into the green. Let's let's
yep.
see if
See if
very
it's gonna.
unlikely now we're gonna get the move lower, but yeah,
Yeah,
there I
it's not
guess I just
likely.
got stopped out.
Yeah, same
I
here.
just got stopped out,
That's not.
so
That's
that's
not going.
unfortunate.
That's not going the way we like there. Um,
No.
in AMD. Oh man, that's a bad drop. That's not a good drop. Like the way it's trading, it's just not. I don't know, not AMD ish. That's even a word. Where can you report bugs for Atlas? So there is an email if you because I got this question before too. All right, so for Atlas, if you want to report something, it will be. Where did I see this? You know what? I saw an email, but I don't remember what screen it was. I'll confirm that for you. Our team is team here. These guys will know.
AMD doing here?
Right, there it is. All right, friends. No, AMD is just garbage, man. It's just playing games.
Yeah,
You got
AMD
it.
actually the Atlas, the order book looks like it's more weighted to the downside.
Mm-hmm.
But what's Nvidia doing?
Uh,
Nvidia is also weighted to the downside. Huh.
yeah. See, but Nvidia looks so much cleaner. Look how clean this thing is trading today. AMD, it just doesn't look as
Huh.
clean. Possible reverse on AMD. Oh, thanks, Mike. So there's the address, guys. Info at tradingterminal.com, right? So if you want to, any bugs, features that you like, ideas, send them there. But if you have any bugs, that's the way to send them, and they'll work on those. It might be already on the list because you guys been doing great of giving us feedback. So but yeah, if you see something, send it there, and they'll take care of it. Nvidia bouncing back. Tesla.
AMD bouncing
Oh
through
man,
the VWAP.
AMD. Come on. All right, so just give me a pullback. I expected this break
Uh,
here. It's
yeah,
not
see
gonna give us the pullback.
that see this is why the range sometimes the range trading can work if that's what you're
Yeah.
thinking of because you can get in at what was the low and if you got stopped out then
Hmm.
it went below went to the low of day below the previous day close and so be it.
Yeah.
But you could have got like three bounces on it. Uh, yeah, but it was harder to get into this breakout, Carlos, because who knows if
Yeah.
this would
It's
be
right.
the time, right?
Yep.
Now that being said, Andrew played every one of these attempted breakouts. If you look at his screen, so
Yeah. Is he in
one,
this one? I
two,
hope he's in
three.
this one.
He is in this one, and he
Good.
just
Oh,
added to it.
nice.
In fact, so he's
Beautiful.
betting on a move higher. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
Nice.
I mean,
Nice.
I don't know if he's net green across these trades because it's hard. It's hard if you're trying to play the breakout and it just doesn't break out.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. So
All right.
here, what I would look is for a pullback and then a confirmation. It's a lot to expect the stock to not do that. Pullback and then you know you might miss the move or it's just tough. But that's the strategy. What can you do? What can you do? Like here, it looks like it wants to go. Yeah, it's gonna go. Yeah, yeah. Someone mentioned Nvidia coming to the VWAP. Let's see if there's an opportunity there. Yeah, we'll give it needs a little more time, but that's also coming up. CRML. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Nice break,
It,
pullback, entry would have been here. Oh man, I'm late to the
yeah,
entry, but this is good.
looks looks very similar to MP, I gotta say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same thing with MP here. CRML. Looks good. How about Nvidia? Nvidia is coming up to the VWAP as well. So I'm looking for a VWAP breakout, guys. That's what I'm looking for here. AMD. This is just not the stock today. Like there's it is
No,
not.
it's
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 like
it's tough.
why are you
It's
not
very,
going
very
to the
tough.
high of the day? Like you should be at the high of the day with the way you're moving here, but it is just not the stock today, man.
Yeah.
It's not trading well. It's a shame. All right. See, so CRML. Okay. MP back below the VWAP. Makes me not want to trust that CRML is going to keep going because these guys are like all trading together.
Mm.
Can't short CRML, so you won't look at that for a short, but MP you can. So MP we have plenty. Ooh, false VWAP breakout, Peter. What are we thinking here? What are we
I
thinking
don't
here,
know.
man?
I don't know.
Uh,
This would have been a better place to add. I've got to learn to be more patient, I think, on my ads
I'm going in,
because
baby. I'm going in.
you're
Oh man,
doing
this
it,
is
are you?
not good. I'm doing it. Yes. Oh, this is so bad. Why am I having flashback of MP?
Yeah, I can understand.
Okay, good. Okay, good. All right.
All right. I don't
Um,
I don't want to be left out, Carlos. I hope this is not a bad sign, but I jumped in with you.
yeah, yeah.
I got back with the size I got
Let's
out of, so
let's see. Let's see.
I'm willing to put a couple of
Um,
bucks on the line, and we'll just see if this works out for a drop now. I don't. This is not my typical trade though, so I feel like I'm chasing it a little bit. I don't, but
well,
we'll
I
see
hate
what
getting
happens.
in short above the VWAP and long below the VWAP. Like I feel like that's tough for me to do. Um, given the way I trade with the 5 minute RB, the VWAP breakout, like I feel like that's tough. But I get it. Hey, if you got in here, you got an amazing entry, right? Um, so 100% get it. All right, let's see. CRML should be dropping as well because they're moving together. We just can't short this one. Nvidia never made the VWAP. AMD never gave us our signal. Look at this. This is just tough. And if you look at the 5 minute, it looks even, worse. I mean, it looks bullish. Like if you look at the 5 minute AMD, completely looks bullish. Like look at all the buying pressure, right?
Yeah.
All the buying pressure, and it's just not getting that continuation. MP struggling to drop here. Struggling to keep going. ASTS. What's going on with ASTS? You guys are mentioning it here. Very light volume, guys, on this one though. It's moving, but very, very light volume on this thing. So just be careful. You decide to trade this one. Going red now. It was green, so dropping to the red now. So just be careful on it. All right. You don't think it will be enough? Be enough? What won't be enough? Um, Apple. Okay, Apple breaking out. Yeah, light volume too on Apple. As it breaks out here. The buyers for which one, Melanie? Sorry, because I went through a few there. POTR, the wicks. I'll check right now on the wicks on POTR. All right, we're getting a little bit of a drop here on NP. See if that can continue. Yep. Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah. You're right. You're right. The market is struggling. To move higher with certain tickers. It really is. All right, NP's dropping some more. So I got NP. I'm out of the screen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
moved
getting
my
a
stop
drop
to break
there.
even because if this comes back
Yeah,
aggressively,
makes
I want
sense.
to. I don't have a great entry, but
Yeah,
I'm willing to sacrifice the potential gain just to save what
yeah.
I've already
Protect the
made on it.
profit. 100%.
Yeah.
I,
So
and I
I, I'd
and I
had
agree
my
that. Yeah,
I had my stop above VWAP, and I just moved it down. I feel like it's a little aggressive. My entry is not the best. 94.36 is my current entry.
94.
So
You're just slightly above me. Slightly, not by
okay.
much. Yeah, we're in the same
So
area.
I might put my stop at like 94.60 just to give a little bit of room here, but because that's where that other candle was 94.61, so I'll put it at
Yeah,
94.65.
yeah,
But
yeah.
oh,
It's
what
now or never. MP.
uh and
Well,
you're
that's
in
not true.
on actually you and I got in at the exact same candle. So
Yeah, and you got in after me. You got a higher entry, so it just tells you how.
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
It's just bouncing around. I don't know. I don't know what MP wants to do right now. It's again, you have to remember this is a hot sector, hot
yeah,
segment, and if you look at the daily, of course, MP's up quite significantly from where it had been over the last little while. So, we can't ignore that it's got that support. And right now the market's looking decently strong. So, we got a
yeah,
few things
yeah.
working against us here.
Yeah, we sure do. Um, and volume just continues to die down, so it just takes longer for it to do anything, right? So,
Yeah. That being said, I
uh,
mean the short term price action is looking pretty weak. Like it
yeah,
looks like it wants to drop. It just like you said, I honestly think there's just not enough volume to make it do anything. It's so
yeah.
which leaves it prone to manipulation or active management, if you want to use that term rather than
Active management. I like that. I like that. Rigetti. I see you guys mentioning Rigetti. Yeah, I did have a couple of moves here in the 1 minute. See it coming back from 952 where it's at now to the VWAP back down. Our breakout didn't take place, so if we were looking at this, we would have not gone long here, and a lot of things kind of fail just like this. If you look at AMD, same thing. A few times we thought we were going to get our breakout, we didn't get the whole pullback, so we didn't join that. Nvidia never made it to the VWAP as we're looking for a VWAP breakout. Tesla, same thing, rejected here, back down. So yeah, not a lot that we haven't taken a lot of trades because we haven't seen our setup develop here, right? So we took MP of the VWAP breakdown. It seems to be struggling here, and the market had a nice pop, but it's kind of sideways now. So not sure. It's not helping us here for sure. All right, 95. I want this below the previous day close. Yeah, not much on this one. Wow,
I just got
tough
stopped out.
day. Yeah.
Stopped out on MP. That's too bad. I was hoping it would survive. Oh well.
Yeah, let's see here. Nvidia at VWAP. I don't know if I trust Nvidia. At VWAP, man. Let's see. Market is trying to rally here, so let's see. You know what? It doesn't matter if I trust it or not. What it matters is it going to give us our move? Is it going to give us our break, pullback, and then confirmation? AMD has tried a couple of times and failed, so we didn't take the trade, and thankfully we didn't because it did drop on us. All right, MP's staying below the previous day close, which is what we need. We need this not to go green. Previous day close at 95.06. And the VWAP is right on there too, like just cents below that. So got a good level of resistance here that I hope to stay below. I just don't know if it's going to be enough to bring it down to the low of the day. I just don't think we have that much room in it, or that much movement in the stock. But let's see. Why the VWAP breakout? What do you? Go ahead.
Don't do this to me, man. No, I got stopped out on the spike. I hate it when it's on a spike.
But it's you never. It's like that's the right move, man. Right? You stick to your stop. You had a great trade on this. You don't want to give a whole lot back. I get it, man.
No.
I get it. And some people don't understand like the break even. Like for example, I was listening to Thor yesterday. He hates the break even. Right? It's a thing. Like he doesn't understand why people do it. But you gotta understand, it's everybody trades different. Not everybody trades the same, and you got to do what works for you and what you can do consistently. We talk about that a lot. That's why I'm very careful to say, "Oh, this sucks. This is stupid." You don't know what that trader has in mind and how he trades. So you gotta be careful on what you guys listen, right? And this for you guys on what you guys listen. Got to be careful not to go and just start switching your strategies, because I used to do that when I was first starting out. And the problem was not that. The problem was I just sucked. It was not discipline. The problem was not the strategy. I just sucked. And you got to be honest with yourself. If you suck, you suck. It's okay to suck. You're going to get better with time, right? So I went from, oh, let me try this. Now let me try this. Let me try this. And nothing worked because I sucked, right? So once I got disciplined, I got better. Then the strategy started working. But just because we do something a certain way doesn't mean you have to. You got to do what works for you, right? And there's no one way to slice this pie. What is wrong with you? But that's the way they eat their pie, So just keep that in mind.
You got to get them the stuffed crust. Maybe they'll like it because then there'll be cheese in it.
They do like the stuffed crust. Yeah, they do like that. Yeah.
I've never had a stuffed crust pizza, I have to admit. So,
I'm not a big fan.
I've heard it.
I don't get it often. I don't get it often. I'm not a big fan of the stuffed crust.
Okay.
Tesla at VWAP. YouTube is down. Really? Whoa. YouTube is down. That's the first. Actually, no. We have seen YouTube be down before, and it was madness. Just laggy. Okay. Is it us or is every other channels are laggy too? I have momentary freeze.
Wow.
It could be just a sector, by the way, too. Like, right? I'm sure they got different servers for different locations.
Yep.
All right, good now. Well, YouTube, we don't pay anything. We don't pay no server fees for YouTube. We just stream. we just stream. Maybe let them figure out their
You don't get to pick your delivery quality on YouTube, right?
Oh, no.
You get what they give you. That's about it.
That's right. It's crazy. And you gotta not be careful. Be aware too. Like sometimes I noticed that they do this a lot more now. Like if you're watching a video, even though the streamer is doing it at 1080p or even higher, they'll downgrade you to 720, and if you don't notice, they'll keep it there. Save some tons of bandwidth. I can imagine.
Sure.
3,000 people watching some gaming channel, and you put everybody at 720. 50% of the people are not going to notice. That's going to save a ton of bandwidth.
Yeah, my quality's on auto, and it goes to 720. So
yeah. Which for most videos is perfectly fine because people are just listening.
Yeah.
But the charts, when it comes to charts and text, you can see the difference, right? So if you see the charts a little bit blurry, just check to make sure that you're not at a downgrade to like 480 or something, right? So make sure you can manually change that. All right, what else? Someone said Tesla at VWAP. Yep, here we are. This is an ugly VWAP breakout. right? If we get, and then there was a question which I think I lost now because we were very active in chat. Thank you guys for being active in chat. We appreciate it. And also if
Yeah.
you haven't done so already, man, hit that thumbs up. It does help out the channel a ton. We're sitting at 4 likes. That cannot be right. I'm going to refresh. It could be right actually. Yeah, could be right. No, 248 likes. So thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys slamming that button. And for those that haven't done so, if you will kindly, gently squeeze on that thumbs up, is greatly appreciated. And if that doesn't do it, oh, I mean, can I do this? Will this help you hit the like button? And if that doesn't do it, I have another one for you. This one here. This should definitely do it. All right, so Peter sending you all kinds of love and kisses. And that should definitely help with the likes. All right. I got a Peter folder, by the way. I got a Peter folder. There's tons of Peter pictures I have here.
Yeah.
It's called Team Pictures.
I guess over time, I'll give you plenty of ammunition. So.
Oh yeah. Then I have people that send me stuff, right? They'll email me, hey, put this one in your Peter file, like this one. So I got a folder for everyone.
I know who that comes. That's the Art sent you that one.
That's Art. Oh, she's definitely one of my providers of Team Pictures. All right, MP. LAC, yeah, LAC. Where's it doing? I know about this one, mainly because I'm in a swing on this one. Took some out at 9. Still have an order around 10, but we haven't gotten back up there. Struggling. So, we'll see. I got in as soon as they said the government's taking a 10% stake on it, some kind of stake on it. God, let me buy a couple of shares of this thing. Because if we notice what's happening, everything they buy eventually goes up. So, don't want to go against the government, that's for sure. Not in their stocks pickings.
No.
So we'll see. See what it does. I took some off at 9, waiting to see if we can get 10. MP 93 is a problem for MP. I mean, we just keep coming right to it, friends, every single time. 93.10, and we just cannot break this thing. Yeah, I am not Mammon. Yeah, you. I was definitely looking for your question, and I lost in the mix here. With the VUP strategy, what do you do when there's no pullback, like in Meta or SPY today? Well, that's the thing. When there's no pullback, I can't enter the trade, right? So I'll give you an example that just happened 2 seconds ago, right? AMD right here. So you had this beautiful breakout, right? This candle opens up, keeps going, and then this one opened up. Before we dropped, it kept going. We're just not joining that trade. We're not chasing that. Okay, we're not going to chase that. All right, and that's exactly what happened there. So sometimes it keeps going, goes to high of the day and higher. We're just going to miss out on that opportunity. We needed to. It can do this, pull back down, but then it's got to push back up and give us that confirmation. The confirmation for me is the most important thing on that strategy. If you don't get that, then I don't think you're getting the best setup possible for the VWAP breakout. Now, that's just that strategy. Can the stock continue to go higher with no pullback? And this candle goes higher and higher and higher. We've seen it. But for the most part, that's what's been consistent for me is that setup, right? You'll miss some, but then it will save you from a lot of issues. Like, for example, where's one here? What's another one that didn't break out, actually? We haven't even today. Was it Tesla? No. Nvidia. Which one was it? We saw one where it would have saved us from getting in. Oh, we didn't look at this one. West Fargo, same thing, right? Here's the push, and then doesn't get in, and it fails, right? So there's a few. There was another one that was more significant that we were actually watching. It could have been. Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, but that's the actual setup we
Can
need.
you please explain how you nailed MP market, your strategy, and you gauge it from the chart? Okay, Chris. Yeah, happy to talk about that. So this is um, pretty standard Rising Devil trade. In fact, I'm going to be doing a webinar Thursday night on the Rising Devil on Trading Terminal. So if you want to go to Trading
Nice.
Terminal, 8 o'clock Eastern, I'll be doing a live webinar and explain in detail. I'll go through step by step exactly how to do the Rising Devil trade. And then maybe this is an example I'll use because it's not a bad one. But really, it had some decent news this morning. It was gapping up. Now, technically, I suppose this is not a rising devil, right? This is actually what the inverse, which would be a lead balloon trade. So it was rising when it shouldn't. The news was okay. It was sitting above VWAP, but I was looking for a drop lower. Basically, I was just playing the pattern. So you can see that it started to sell off into the market open. I was looking for ideally a pop-up. I was saying, let's zoom in here on the open. I was saying at the open, I was hoping that as the market opened right here at 9:30, I'd love for it to get up to 100, which is $100 is where the opening range basically sat. And if it did that, then I was actually going to go in with a much heavier volume and trade it short. But what I saw is in the opening minute, as you can see, it got up to around 99, 99.39, I think is the high. Still to this moment is the high of day. And it didn't quite get that high. Then I saw in the next minute it started to hesitate and it was hanging out right around here, 98 and a quarter, 98.50 type range. So I said, all right, well, I'm going to put my stop up here over the high that it set. Around 99.50 was my stop. I went short right here, saying if it goes back up above the now high that it's set, I will just stop out, right? I'll let the thing automatically stop me out. As you can see, immediately started to get a drop. The spread was a little higher than I was comfortable with. I think it was probably about 40 or 50 cents at this point. So I was trying to take a partial down here, and I ended up getting filled up here. So there's my first partial, and then it started to move really fast. So I was able to wait. Again, this partial I was trying to take at previous day close, and you can see that I got a relatively bad fill in that, much higher than I expected, about 40 or 50 cents higher than I was expecting. And then the third one, all in the same minute, right? So this all happened within a, 30, 40-second span. I got the third partial down below a VWAP. So this is like a $4, sorry, partial here. Now, in hindsight, I wish I hadn't partialed so much, but I had to stick to my rules. So that's basically what I did. And then as you can see in the next minute, it didn't do much. It didn't go much below where I'd taken my previous partial. So I just thought, I'll wait. I'll wait to see what happens. Then we got another big move down by a couple of bucks. Took another partial near the low of that candle. And I just sat and waited. Now I'm getting low on shares, right? So now I got to wait and see what's going to go on. Here is where the halt, if you remember, we were thinking, is it going to halt? Is it not? Let's wait. Let's see what's going to happen. And it got very close to that halt level, but they saved it a couple of times. It never did halt. Bounced back up. I took the risk at adding in here with my stop now. It was up here above VWAP and the previous day close. It put my new break even right up around here at 95.64 or something like that. And I just held on, wait to see what happens, and sure enough, it came back up and stopped me out. So that's really the full trade. Ideally, frankly, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have aggressively added here. I should have waited longer, been a little more patient, waited to see what happened. The right place to add would be where I got back into the trade. So this is a whole new trade here, where I decided to get back in, stop up above where I'd previously been halted, and see what it's going to do. And it did go down a little bit, but came right back up. And I said, you know what? I don't want to take a lot of risk. I'd move my stop a little more aggressively to just above my break even. Stopped out. So that's it. That's my trading for this morning. Carlos, are you still in this?
Which one? Yeah.
MP?
Yeah.
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 So Carlos is still hanging out in here. And who knows? This thing could go either way. Look at the volume. Like the volume is just consistently dropping, right? Dropping, dropping, dropping here all morning. So, now it's not in a good spot because now we're getting like 50, 60,000 shares a minute, which, is okay, but it's not a lot of volume. So it makes the trading a little thinner. And then frankly, the move's less predictable, right? It doesn't take a lot of shares for somebody with deep pockets to be able to move this thing wherever they want it to go. If it happens to be short in Carlos's direction, that'll be great. But if somebody decides that they're going to push this thing higher, right, they only have to use a couple 100,000 shares to do it, which in Wall Street terms is pretty easy, low volume.
Very
So,
easy.
yeah.
Very, very
So anyways,
easy.
so that was my trade in a nutshell. Again, Thursday night at Trading Terminal, 8 o'clock in the evening. If you want to go there, I'll sort of step through exactly what I'm looking for. There's sort of 4 configurations of this trade: Rising Devil, Fallen Angel, Lead Balloon, and Phoenix. Those are the 4, and I'll explain what they mean and how you trade them. But the strategy, the base signals are the same in all cases. So hopefully that helps a little bit. And now I'm just
Yes.
looking for my next opportunity.
All right, friends. If you want to see where, hold on. Okay, gonna go long Tesla here. I'm long Tesla. Yeah, let's see. But if you want to see what Peter's talking about, it's here. TradingTerminal.com, right? You have to be a member. Actually, for these, I don't think you have to be a member for these. I think you could join for free, right?
A lot of the webinars are free, yeah.
These are free. Yes, you don't have to be a Trading Terminal. You don't have to have a membership for TradingTerminal.com. I think these are free. It gives you a look of what's happening. So go to TradingTerminal.com, click on webinars down here, and once you do that, you're going to see. Sorry, I'm distracted with these 2 trades. You're going to see this right here, right? And you can sign up, join for free. Can I send you this link, guys? This just link directly. Can I do that? All right, here it is. Let me know if somebody could click on that if that works. But sign up for free. You can jump in here, free a webinar, and then you'll see what Peter is talking about, right? And then the other thing I wanted to show you was what was it? I think that was it. I think that might have been it. Oh yeah, here, Variable Trader. So for those Lambos and Garbage Truck members, look at all the videos being released. A new one here that came out from Thor, Train the Market Imbalances. So really, really good video. So definitely check it out. If you're a Lambos and a Garbage Truck member, you have access to this. So definitely make sure you take a look. And you can see all of Andrew's recaps are being posted here, as well as more videos like this. And we do one like this every week. So every week we're releasing one of these videos with a lot of information. So definitely take advantage of that. All right, what am I doing here? What am I doing? I am
What are you
trading. Doing? I know. Just this is not the ideal Tesla breakout, but we were watching it closely, and thank you guys for calling it out. But we have to be patient and wait for the confirmation. Right, confirmation is here. So you gotta wait for the pullback. You gotta wait for the confirmation around 413ish, whatever that was, 423. And let's see if we can get the break. And then on MP, I'm in the green. I actually had a nice drop here, 91.84. But like you said, Peter, the volume, this party is just lagging. Pretty aggressive here. So, oh wow, Tesla. Let's do this. I'm looking for a partial at 425. So not even MP can mess up my day today, hopefully. Again. All right, we'll look at POTR in a second, guys. And let's just take a partial above 425. We're going to push through. These stocks have been struggling. What is AMD doing? Because these stocks have been struggling to just get going. AMD's finally breaking out. Okay, hopefully this is on some news.
I think it's AMD. Just AMD moving today.
It's just AMD doing some stuff.
I think so. It doesn't. I mean, let's face it. It's not really a big move, right? It's still in this very choppy range.
Yeah.
It's expanded that range, so now that it's got some room above VWAP, but
looks aggressive though, Peter. Yeah,
it does.
It looks cleaner than what we've seen so far, right? So far, this thing has. Well, you know what? This can change very quickly if it starts dropping.
Keep an eye on your Tesla here. It looks like it's about to hit the 425
for you. 425. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. There it is. So we'll take a partial here. All right, not a bad fill. That's a great fill actually, because I was slow to the trigger, but a great fill. All right, and then MP is just rangy.
MP's, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not looking
might
good.
just get out for a small green on this thing. Let's see. We'll focus on Tesla for now, but I do have an eye on MP. What are you guys mentioning? APLD. What's going on with APLD? All day long. Wow, all day on APLD. Very nice. I don't see. This is where this is just it's gone for me. Like I don't have a strategy here.
Yeah.
This is gone. Um,
And a
yeah,
lot of these are,
beautiful.
they're so easy to see in hindsight. Doesn't mean that they always work, but
Yeah,
like a PLTR there. Oh, you
same
just
thing.
flipped to that. Look at that. Yeah,
Yeah.
see? A little later, but same type of move, right? Sort of pushed through
Mm-hmm.
VWAP, did a little bit of a retest. You could take it long there. But it's easy to see in hindsight. I didn't see it in real time.
Yeah. All right. Partial on Tesla so far. Let's see if we can. Here's the problem we've been having all morning. Just no continuation on the stocks that I've been looking at. Right. So Tesla,
Yeah.
AMD, no continuation. So if Tesla can break through this, um, and hit the high of the day, that'd be great to see here. But again, the continuation has been a problem on certain tickers. You took POTR, Nicola. Very nice.
Oh, Nickel, yeah,
Very
the good,
nice.
good that you took it.
Yep.
JP Morgan. I wasn't even looking at JP Morgan. What is it doing? Oh yeah. Well, yeah,
Wow.
hard trade. I don't see, yeah, not a simple setup in my opinion. Sell
Yeah.
off at the open and then the bounce.
Yep. Wow. LAC. Melanie's still in chat. Melanie, our good time member. Melanie keeps everybody in check. She makes sure we don't go off the rails. I know she was looking for a breakout on that one. MP.
AMD is finally getting to the point where it might actually put a new high of day in. Come on, AMD. Do it
Oh,
for Andrew. Andrew's long on this.
Andrews Long and AMD. Oh,
Oh
there you
yeah.
go. That's the
He's
move.
uh he's taken
Yes.
he's taken every one of these breakouts, on the assumption that eventually one of them has to
Oh,
work.
I love to see that. Love to see this work out.
There you go. Now he's got the high of day, so that's good.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Here's Andrew's trades.
Yeah.
Beautiful. 222. Melanie's making waffles for the girls. She is multitasking. Yeah, we have a lot of parents that are trading. I remember in my boot camp, I had a couple of mothers that were with their babies, 1, 2 year
Yeah.
old. Hear them crying in the
That's
background, learning how to trade. I love it, love
that's
it, love
hard
it.
to do. That
Hard
is
to do
very
the
hard to do.
commitment. I had two of
Yeah.
them last boot camp, not this one, last one. And they did very well, man. They did very well. So shout out to them for taking their maternity leave time to also take care of their kids. Because one of them was months. One of them it was like newborn. So shout out to the super moms and super dads. Some super dads out there, So shout out to both of you guys, but nothing like a mother. I mean, we gotta admit, moms are special. They're special. I gotta tell you. Uh, but yeah, yeah. Uh, Tesla back to my 425. Hopefully, let's
Ah.
get the break. The Nate 12, you forgive me. The Nate 12. I don't know if the Nate. I don't know if you're mother or dad, but I'm glad I'm forgiven. Whichever way I might have maybe offended you. Moms are superheroes. They truly are, Alicia. There's no question. They truly are. Just amazing. Tesla. Come on, Tesla. Give us a continuation. Give us the continuation here.
Oh my goodness.
I got it.
You know, it's funny to when you're connected to people. Andrew's do you remember Andrew's good buddy Ferris, who
Yeah,
put on helped us who did all the coordination, basically stage manager for the TEDx?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you go to Ferris's Instagram feed, you get to see a whole nother side of Andrew's life because Andrew's in
Oh
a
yeah,
couple of
if
those
Andrew shows
pictures
up,
at these
facts.
nightclub things that
Hmm.
he's at.
The outfits, man. Uh,
Oh man, the outfits
oh,
or lack thereof. There was a couple of girls wearing pasties and
mm.
doing a
When I
fashion
look at
show.
that Instagram page,
It's
I feel like I am not in fashion at all. I'm out of fashion. I'm
oh
just,
yeah. Oh, no kidding. I'm not even.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna get out break even on Tesla. It's just we're just not getting continuation. So
Yeah.
glad I took that partial, but here it
And
is, break even. Gonna push it a little higher, save me a couple of cents. Can you do that or no? Nope, you're not going to. Okay, we'll get out now. That's fine. All right, yeah, we're not getting the continuation. All right, here's MP. Stop is 95. We're probably gonna get stopped out on this. But the continuation is a big problem today. Except on AMD. AMD had an amazing breakout. This breakout Andrew took advantage of. Oh my goodness. Are you
yeah.
kidding me? Look at, can you make this stuff up? Come on, Mr. Market Maker. What? Why would you do that?
Yep. Yep. 222, right? And then
That is,
bust like to the penny.
to the penny. You know,
Yep.
the market has a very weird sense of humor sometimes. Like, come on. Couldn't feel that order.
Ravi, you want Carlos and pasties tomorrow? Hey, look, there's nothing saying he's not wearing them right now. He just happens to have his shirt on over top. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
still,
Oh man.
he didn't have time to take them off after the
Yeah.
club last night.
Straight from the club. Man, I'm telling you, age is such a it's amazing what the body can do when you're young. It's amazing, amazing. Oh man. Can't pull that off now. I done an all nighter, Peter, from the club to a private party, whatever, then straight to work. Well, my coworkers went straight to work. We had a gym at work, so we went home, picked up extra pair of clothes, went straight to work, showered at the gym there, and just went to work, no problem. Then went out that night to the bar, happy hour, just to talk about the night before. No problem. I do that now. You might find me in a hospital for the next 3 days getting IV injections to survive. It's just not gonna happen. You just can't pull that off. The recovery is not the same. Nowhere near. But yeah, insane. Um,
Uh,
Old man sleeping, getting up and early rhythm for me. Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's see here. All right, so MP is gonna stop me out now. I see it. Looks so I'm getting ready. Hockey's ready on MP to bail on it. Yeah, it looks like it wants to break the previous day close. MP reversal, I wouldn't get on MP, long or short, man. I will find something else you want to trade. MP was good here when Peter took it, and in this area here. Then right here, the volume just collapsed, and nothing good happened after that. So, find something else. Even I'm sorry, I'm not showing the screen I was drawing on. But right here, right, MP was good up to like this point. Right, this was great. Good volume. You was getting movement. Now look at this. You're barely getting complete candles at this point, right? So volume is dead. I wouldn't jump on this. So I'm gonna get out of it here. So out of NP. It's just not trading well at all. Marriage and Bill do that to the marriage and Bill. Who's Bill? Oh, Bills. Okay, Roberto, I got you. I'm like, marriage and Bill do that to the body. I'm like, wait a minute, marriage and then who's Bill? What is Bill doing to your body? I got you now. Bills, you meant? Yeah, Ben, he had me for a second. Oh man, no, I got you, Bert. I got you. We got you now. Oh man. All right, Tesla, right back up to our thing here. Right back up. I don't know what Andrew's saying, but he's definitely going in because I see his arms moving all over the place. I can't see what he's saying, but he's going in on something. He's
No.
going in.
No.
Well, I see him doing
No.
this. I'm like, oh, something's happening. I'm missing
Something's
it.
happening, yeah. No, I'm trying not to do anything foolish.
That is,
I'm
and I could
watching
tell,
look at
and I could tell you're interested in it because you're paying full
yeah.
attention to what he's saying.
I'm watching LAC here
It's
as
good.
it
It's
hits a
good.
high. It's only a $9 stock though.
Yeah, I got to swing on this thing, man. I'm looking for 10. From going on 3 weeks now. No, like 2 weeks. Looking for 10. So this is nice. We might not get there though. We might not get there. All right. Plugs, another one. Here's my swings. I got plug, I got LIC, and I got TRY. And this TRY is, you remember the 100 shares we took, Peter? This 100 shares
Yeah.
is actually with on Dash on Interactive Brokers. Remember we took 100 shares for day trade? I don't know if you remember. Like we were just playing around. I just left them, so they're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up like
Oh,
two
really?
$2. Yeah, I just kept it.
Okay.
I'm up like $2.
All right.
Like it's not even worth it. I should have got it all out here when it went to 230. But we'll see. Yeah, so just for fun. That's a just for fun trade.
Oh, there's a move higher. Now, we need our friends we need our friends to join us here.
Wow, West Fargo. Nice. Tesla trying to get going here, but West Fargo. Look at this move. Pretty good. Market is finally doing what it's doing, baby. Love it. Doing what it's doing. Good stuff. Good stuff.
How are you doing, guys? Oh shit, man.
Whoa.
Boom.
We're in the
Already
club.
start the beat.
Yeah.
Why do I have echo?
Can I get the lights?
Oh, it's because of chat room. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right.
How are you doing, guys?
Andrew, you're still
Good.
in the club. That's awesome.
I'm still up.
I was just talking about you in the club because I started with your Instagram feed, and then somehow I got onto Ferris's Instagram feed, and then that's where I see you in the club all the time with Ferris.
Which club?
I don't know. It was just you and a bottle of XO and Ferris, and then it was
Oh,
a bunch of sexy girls and pasties. There was I don't know. There's a lot going on there.
it was my place. Carlos, put this to chat room screen share in the chat room, please. No, it was at my place. They were here last night at my
Okay.
place.
Oh, well.
So
Party time.
party time, party time.
All
All
right.
right.
So,
So
good morning. You fought with AMD all morning. All morning.
that was a nightmare. That was a nightmare. But eventually I made good money on it. Like not good money yet. So I'm still in there. So here's my position on AMD. I didn't get filled on 222, unfortunately. And yeah, it was a good fight. Um, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I didn't get filled on 222. It did hit the price, but I didn't get filled. So waiting for 222. We had a really good discussion and conversation in the chat room about so many things in life. And yeah, the price good. NVIDIA, I had a short on NVIDIA at the open, and then did a quick scalp pop up it. I think Tesla was a really nice. Scott mentioned that in the chat room at 10:12. That was a really good pop. I should have taken Tesla. Um, but yeah, so that's where we are sitting in life right now. Peter, are you excited for your daughter's PhD?
I am. It's coming up. We're just got our fingers and toes crossed. We're leaving her alone so she can focus on it. Should be I mean, obviously it's stressful. You've been through it. You know. It's you spend all these years working on it. You develop your big your not only the project that you had to do, but then the study and then the write up, and now she's got to go and answer a bunch of questions about it. So she's pretty stressed, but I have confidence in her. She knows her stuff. She's a
It's funny
smart
for my
cookie.
dissertation. So we had two defense, like internal at the department and external at um, that is the main one.
Yeah.
So one time before my main exam, my professor forwarded me an email that from the external examiner comments and questions that he's a very famous electrochemist in UC Berkeley. So he by mistake forwarded that to me just before the dissertations. Like I knew all the questions. I didn't look at it. He quickly called me and said, "Do not look at that email," and I didn't. But like
You don't want to see this. All right.
it was really funny that I knew it because he didn't come, the UC Berkeley professor. He was retired, but he sent his questions and his comments and stuff.
Uh, okay.
But are you
All
going to the
right.
defense? Are you going to the dissertation?
No. Well, she said she would send us a link because now you can do it virtually. So,
But why
but
did you
we're not.
go? It's nice to go and see it.
I don't think she would want to make her even more anxious to have us physically in the room. Besides, it's like a 7 hour drive, so it's a long way.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
No, it's
I'd go, but I don't think that she'd necessarily make her any. Wouldn't help for us to be there. So if it's not helpful, we'll happily sit here. By the way, your AMD's at 222. Did you get filled yet? Oh, you did.
yeah,
Look,
I
there you
did
go.
get, yeah.
Good, good.
Like it's a
Okay.
very disgusting chart. I know. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
What the hell I was thinking? But he had the news, and it was very
Yeah.
independent of the market. And but sometimes it's like you do a couple of steps. Some of them were absolutely unnecessary trades, but this last one turned out to be super nice. Um, so and I'm a human like everyone else. Like I do overtrade, I get emotional, I get messed up. So these are all things that you can do.
Yeah. Got lucky. I'm happy with my one trade on MP, so that worked out. Got that short off the open, which, as I was saying, it leveraged a variation of the Rising Devil strategy, which I'm actually going to be teaching
Oh,
live at Trading Terminal on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. So
oh,
for anybody
perfect.
that's
Thank you.
interested,
So on the
yeah.
MP,
Well, the MP was the thing that I traded. Yeah. I had I don't know, Carlos, if you still have my screen. I don't want to screw up what you're doing, but yeah, we had it there. Nice trade off the open. And yeah, rode it all the way down. Of course, it came back up and ended up stopping me out because I tried to add into it, but I got a great entry and yeah, pretty happy with that trade. So,
yeah, amazing. So officially, the earnings season starts. The earnings season usually starts with banks and airlines too, like Delta, I think was recently. So
Yes, it was this
now,
week.
next couple of weeks, we have a lot of reporting for the public companies, and super exciting. Um, and yeah, so we just look over the scanners every single day, the volatility. I mean, we don't have a lack of volatility thanks to so much liquidity that they printed in the market. So, um, but the earnings season is quite unique because now you get individual stocks reporting, and you can go to train terminal calendar, and then we have it. We should have it, and then if not, I personally don't follow it. Just every morning, Carlos and Peter has already done the job for us, and so we do this.
Keep in mind, everybody, speaking of volatility, at 12:20 is when Jerome Powell is supposed to take the microphone and have be speaking. So that can often have market impact. Again, it's always tough to tell on any given day whether it'll impact the market or not. Depends on what he says, right? If he sticks to the script and doesn't change any of the talking points, then probably it'll be a very minor impact. If something new or perceptively new comes out, then we could see the market react. So just be aware if you're in a trade sometime. Again, 12:20 is the targeted start time. It might be a little bit later. It also depends on the timing of his comments. And I actually don't know if there's a Q&A attached to this one, but anyways, be aware of it if you're trading around that time.
Where do they talk?
I don't know.
I think actually should have in the calendar of trade terminal should have it.
It's in
Um,
there.
Also, Fed Bowen, Fed J Powell speech. Oh, it doesn't say where.
No, it doesn't say
That is
where. So, but everybody's always trying to interpret every little bit of what he says. So, even the computers, right? The AI bots are trolling every word of his speech to see if there's something new in there. And it's usually not. He's been trained. He's a lot better than he used to. Remember when he started as Fed chair, he would say things and the markets would go crazy. And he even like shut the effing door and he was getting mad at people because they were opening and closing a door off stage beside him. And he's
No, it was because no, it was because it was a protest. There was some
well,
environmental
yeah,
protest. No, it wasn't because the door was open. Like, it was a protest.
they kept
Um,
busting through. But anyways,
yeah, I
yeah.
remember that. That was a funny. I mean, if you go to YouTube, uh, search J Powell, shut the door and stuff. It's there. It's really funny. Um,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely nice. All right. So, any question? Let's take some questions. Carlos, give 1 month of free Elite membership to Lambo and Garbage Truck at the end of the show. Um,
Sweet.
yeah, we'll get 1 month membership. But if there is any question, guys, in YouTube in the chat room, I don't really see any trading opportunity. I'm still in AMD, but I don't really see much. Um,
No, it's pretty quiet right now. And it hasn't been a great day, right? A lot of
oh,
range trading. There's been a few things that have moved, strongly in one direction, but not a lot. You had to hunt for them. So, overall, the SPY and the Qs, the charts look better than a lot of the stuff we were watching, as Andrew, you can attest to with AMD, right? Like it just was not cooperating.
yeah, AMD was quite quite aggressive at the open. Nvidia was nice. We took a very nice short on it, a 5 minute opening range breakdown.
Hmm.
Didn't really quite get to the level that I was hoping to get. It's the moving average 179.46. But again, these levels are also not accurate. Like this went quite close, but not
Yeah.
down to the penny. Um, Amen. Nice. SSKN. What is that one? Wow. SSKN.
Oh, that's a new one. Yeah. Uh, Andrew Anchor is asking a question. How is the funded account and trading terminal different from the Diamond membership in BBT?
A Diamond membership is with DAS platform. Trading, obviously, DAS is a Lamborghini of trading platforms. So it's very different. It's desktop. You have to download it in the Windows. The charting level 2 and everything is super different. And it's way better. But it's also expensive, way more expensive. So Trading terminal is a browser-based, web-based, and there's no level two, but you have Market Atlas, which you can use at the same time. Like the way that Carlos, show my full screen. So the way that I bring it here, I can just put the browser here. We also do some upgrade on the Atlas is the way that the UI UX is better, aspect ratio. You don't have to refresh it, um, but it's cheaper. So I think a lot of people in the community make a lot of early mistakes at the trading. And on the DAS, the way that it works, when you activate it, I have to send the money to them, and then it's very difficult to reset, and it's very expensive. So it's good for a lot of people to go with Trade Terminal, but for peak capital, which is very serious trading, serious training, we still give you DAS funded account uh, to practice on it. Oh, New York City. I don't have any plan, honestly, to come to New York City at this moment. But New York City is always fun to visit. But I don't have any plan at this moment. We go live trading. The plan is to do live trading in Vegas in February in Money Show. So they give us the infrastructure to do live trading, and I love people to come. Obviously, the time still we got to like Vancouver, we got to wake up at 6 a.m. For our next summit, I don't want to do it in Vancouver again. Potentially, we go into Eastern Canada, like either Montreal or Toronto. The time is better. They're bigger metropolitan area. We have a lot of traders in Toronto and Montreal. Um, Plus Vancouver, we've done it a few years, so it's good change. So Alistair is asking, can I use my DAS Funder account with the current DAS? Yeah, you can. You can copy and paste all of your settings into the new folder. It's a new install. DAS demo that we have is different from IBKR. So you have to install our version and then you copy and paste your settings. It's very nice. So I used my first live trading profit to get a second monitor. That is amazing. Perfect. So today we have Thor and Nathan coming. Actually, Thor is coming, but I think we have a guest as well from a spot Gamma, if I'm not mistaken. Here it is frozen. I think there's something happening in the.
Oh, I'm here. I
You're
can.
here.
I was just
Peter,
hooking things up.
yeah, I want to say something. Like J Powell said, just shut the fucking door behind you. Your door is open, like.
Just
like
shut the door.
shut the door.
Fortunately, I have no protesters out there, so I don't have to worry about it.
Never know. Your wife might come and say
That's
something.
right. True.
Perfect. So, any other question, guys, in the chat room? Um, Welcome,
Yeah,
Kevin.
well, yeah,
Lambo Garbage
welcome.
Truck. Um,
Yeah, Candela RR, you're saying I'm new in trading. It's hard to use the Atlas and a strategy at the same time. I mean, look, with anything that you're doing, it always takes time to get used to managing the data volume. I always use the analogy when I started, racing my car around a track. I went to this training and they talked about all the cone, the braking cones, and there's a cone at the apex, so where you turn and where you brake. And the first couple of times around the track, I was so unused to it that I never saw any cones. I didn't know what the heck was happening. I just followed the car in front of me, and that's all I could pay attention to. But after a number of times around, I started to realize there are cones out here because it felt like I was driving slower, even if I was actually driving faster, because my brain had time to get used to it. I can now process the data. You're going to find the same thing in trading. When you first start, you've got to keep your strategy simple. Try and watch, just watch a very limited, like watch one stock at a time. right? Don't try and watch too many charts. Get used to that amount of data and then slowly add on. So if you find that the atlas is not, you just can't pay attention to it, there's valuable data in there. You just not might be ready. Sorry, you might not be ready yet, but you will get there. Right? Just give it a little bit of time. You'll start to realize, hey, I want to know what the volume is doing, right? How can I get more information? That's when you can start to incorporate Atlas into your trading. Or, alternatively, change your strategy. There may be things on your chart that you don't need, or the number of charts you've got, reduce those so that you have the bandwidth to use that Atlas data. But one way or the other, you will get better at it. I mean, I am using 6 screens right now, and I've got about 30, 35 charts on them. But it's taken me years of trading to get to the point where I feel comfortable actually leveraging all that data. So give it time.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to use it. Like I never really used Atlas for 10 years of my trading, and I was pretty successful. But now it's a tool that we built, and so we'll look at it and learn, and it's pretty good. Um, but again, we discussed this in the chat room before we come to YouTube as well. Like there's no right or wrong in there. It's just another tool to show you something to help you find the balance of the power between buyers and sellers. And it can change quickly, and it can be wrong in a way that shows a bullish price action, but you go long and it doesn't work, and that's the normal probability of the market. It's a visualization of the auction that we have, but it doesn't necessarily price has to follow that. So Mike is asking the color coding on that. So the color coding, it doesn't matter really. So when there's a lot of buyers at the lower price, that's a very bearish sign. It means that the buyers are sitting down, they're lowballing the price. I know this is the price I'm going to pay. If you want, this is the more buyers down there, it means that the price is going to go down. Like look at the real estate, for example. If it's a financial, depression and you want to buy a house, you don't want to do multiple offer in a house. Like, the asking price is 1 million. You can say, hey, my price is 900. You're going to come get it. But if it's like a very bull market in the housing, like it was like 2021 after the pandemic, like zero interest rates, people buying, Vancouver was crazy. Like obviously you want to do the multiple offer, you go up on that price, and the sellers are the price or asking price go higher and higher and higher. So when the asking price is higher, usually the price follows them. Not 100%, but usually the price goes toward the pools of liquidity in the market. Like right now, AMD, if you show, for example, my chart, right now, what we're seeing here is there are more buyers down here. And these are not desperate buyers. And it's very counterintuitive. People say, if there are more buyers, Carlos, go full screen. If there are more full buyers, if there are more buyers, the price should go up. Yes, but the psychology is different here. These buyers are not desperate. If they were desperate, they would have already hit the market order and they were out. But they're sitting down there and say, well, this is my price. Come to me if you want. And, that means it's a very bearish price action, and bearish sentiment is better probably. It's bearish sentiment. That you have to also put this one in perspective with the chart pattern. So the price action, which is the candlesticks, when we say price action, means candlestick, the chart, is the most important part. And now here, suddenly 220 is back into play. So maybe this is the sign of like bottoming in the short term. Maybe he wants to go back up to 220. And, this is the current price that is the fight is happening. So, but still, there are some bearish in there. So again, helps you. What I do is I look at the chart pattern, 1 minute and 5 minute candlestick, and make a decision based on that. Two together.
Good advice. What did I mention? Somebody thanked me. Osper. I mentioned Google in a major day. All right. That's awesome. Good to know. You're welcome.
All right. So one last question that I'm going to answer from a Scarfin. Why would someone want to day trade instead of swing trade? The possibility of making cash every single day with day trading is a lot. So you can, on a smaller account, if you can make easily like a couple of $100 or more, 0.5% or 1% a day is amazing, which would be like 200% a year. But there's a limit that you can do. Like that's why Warren Buffett doesn't do day trading in a way that we do, because they have like how much they have $250 billion asset on management. If they want to do day trade, NVIDIA, and they have to buy everything. So that's why, into the options market, the swing trading strategies are different. A lot of people are asking this question, and it's a fair question, that if day trading works, why not the whole Wall Street is doing day trading? The answer to that is two things. Number one is they're doing it. Like, it's not that they're not doing it. The algos, all Wall Street, the best quant, best mathematician, best gold Olympic mathematician, all always in Wall Street. The second of all is there's a limit of the fund that you can do on it. It's the liquidity of the market and how much position you want to take on the stocks. The stocks obviously at the very beginner, you go to the futures market, massive volume, and then you go into the other instruments like forex and stuff. Liquidity is really not a problem. But there is a limit that you certain, like I'm with the $10 million account, I can't make 1% every day, because it's just not liquid enough the market for me with the way that I trade. That's why I have positions longer term, and then I use the excess margin and tracker brokers to do the trade to consistently try to get the money. All right, so it's 8 a.m. Carlos, let's do one Lambo and Garbage Truck Elite membership for 1 month. And then we have Thor and Nathan coming, looking good. And also we do have a guest, I think, today. Yes, Thor?
Absolutely. We have a gentleman from Spot Gamma here to talk to us a little bit about why this market's doing things. Talk about going crazy. We're going to talk options. So
yeah,
awesome.
Love that. Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Let's
So
you guys
Lambo,
do it. Have a great day.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. And all the best. Carlos, go.
Yep. Go ahead, guys. Hashtag BBT. Let's wait for some people to get in. We have only 34, so get in there, guys. We'll give it a couple of seconds.
Carlos, are you on Wi-Fi?
On Wi-Fi? No, why?
Because you're a little bit
Copy?
radio, yeah.
Sounds Andrew had better sound coming from a Sherpa tent on the highest Alps or whatever you were at. Andrew was on the top of that mountain and he had amazing audio quality.
Oh, that's weird.
Come on, Carlos.
Come on,
What's
man.
wrong,
No, I'm
man?
just kidding.
Come on, Carlos.
All right. Okay, Carlos, go for it.
All right, so here it is, guys. The winner for today's annual Elite membership, Ian Carson. Congrats, man.
Oh,
congrats.
Ian Carson, yeah. It's a great friend of me in British Columbia. JT, nice meeting you. I'm going to hand it over to Thor and Nathan. All the best, guys.
All the best.
See you,
All
Andrew.
right. Good to see you. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Hello, welcome. Congratulations to the drawing winner, Ian. That is awesome. He's like a regular in here all the time. Nice to see him and win something. So that's really cool. So good stuff. Just wanted to say hi to everybody. Thank you for coming by and joining the show today. We had a pretty interesting day yesterday and Peak, and then on the channel, and then today we have had a pretty interesting day caught a pretty good sell on the NQ. So I figured today is going to be one of those great days to figure out, how do we get this market to do the thing that we think the market's going to do? And the only way to do that is we need a technician that understands kind of how this stuff really works in the background. So I think in order to get ourselves a technician in here, we're going to bring in one of the best I know, especially from the options side. So our Spot Gamma man is going to come in here and hang out with us. The king of the beard game is coming in, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun. So we got our guy on here. We also, of course, have Nathan here to help keep this thing steered in the right track, because despite
keep
these
JT in
sessions,
line.
I still don't know enough about options. So we'll do this. Yes, it is the beard winner, and Nathan, your camera's coming in.
Let me try
very
again.
very
Hold on.
not a camera right now.
Let me log out.
Very not
I'll
a
join
camera.
back in.
So
Definitely coming in as straight text. Can you hear me okay?
So yeah, I can hear you great, buddy. So
Cool.
JT's beard game combined with my beard game has completely blown Nathan's camera out. It's not even working now.
Yeah.
So
He blew an O-ring, blew a gasket.
just done.
Has no compression. Yeah.
Just out, just done deal.
So for those who weren't around yesterday, we did a little bit of stuff in the Elite. We were talking about Bookmap essentially as well as Spot Gamma. So If you're using Atlas, it's going to be very, very similar, right? So you're going to have a lot of the same kind of overlap there. If you haven't checked that out, I showed a couple of very key areas where you can look at, let's pop into Equity Hub real quick. You can specifically look at Equity Hub, this right here for a given stock, Eli Lilly, AMD, whatever stock, you can identify a pattern in it, and then you can go to the liquidity tool, whether it's Atlas or Bookmap, and you can see exactly where that liquidity is. And what that helps you is that helps you understand that this is not just a passive area of liquidity where buyers are waiting. This is a hedge area. This is where you expect large volume of heavy hedging action. And we saw a couple of really, really good examples of that. So if you didn't catch that video, you need to ask the guys over there in the
It should be up.
videos.
Hopefully by tomorrow it should be up. So
cool. And it's
Get it
good.
in.
We went over a couple of very solid examples. We went through the dashboard and then into it. And then kind of from there, this is our third go. We did the first two were heavy theory. So if you made it through those, today's nice. We get a little practical application. We get a little like, okay, well, what do we do with the picture when it looks a certain way? And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Aside from that, if you have questions on tickers in general, just start sending them in the chat and we'll get to them when we get to them as soon as we're done with the presentation. This is only like 8 slides, so we'll crank out as fast as we can, okay? And then we'll look at whatever tickers you guys want to look at in the hub.
Cool, cool. And we got Carlos is going to bring on your screen here in just a second. Here.
Okay, cool.
He's switching a couple things around.
Oh yeah.
We were
got the
naughty
Sherpa
today,
mic.
Nathan. I don't think we gave Carlos a very good heads up on our guy coming in here today. So
okay,
Carlos
I'm sorry.
Carlos is catching up.
Carlos-
Well, I'm sorry too. We will both
Carlos is a professional. He's got this.
We're just
Thor and I,
just gonna admonish ourselves, however, highly, you know, just on how insolent and horrible and just
Honestly, I think it's egregious enough that after we're done, you turn off the cam, get naked, and you do a lap around the house. Seems
thank God you just said hi, because the house, because I'll commit to just about anything. So I'm really glad you just said house and not neighborhood. That makes
the next time Thor and I are alone with Carlos, he's gonna pull us over in the corner and be like, "You two, okay, you need to listen to me when I tell you to do something."
Yeah, I don't want to threaten you with a good time there, Nathan, right? Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
It did sound like a good time.
I mean, it's a nice 70 degrees outside. So
I feel like we can get our, what is that movie, Old School, you know?
Yeah.
We're going streaking
They
by
did
the
a lot
quad.
further. Yeah. They went a lot further than around the house, right?
Everybody's doing it.
I think we're good. I see us
All
on
right,
YouTube,
we got a screen now, so we're good to go. Thank you,
cool.
Carlos. Oh, exalted
thank you, brother.
and
I
great
owe you
professional. We are not worthy. We are not worthy. Okay, JT.
Next time we get together.
So we went over theory the last 2 times. So I think it's August and September. If you want to check those out, they're the Tuesday before OPEX. So just go to that live on there, and you'll get it. And we're going to cover a little bit today, but today we're going to go into some practical examples, kind of like I said. You can pause your video right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're done. And this is why we're here. So what Bear Bulls Traders already really has a great handle on is the technical analysis and a lot of the fundamental analysis, right? So you'll get a lot of insight into, okay, this tweet came out and a lot of this stuff. But one of the things that struggles with a lot of people is that positional analysis. And that's something that we talk about here. And what it is not just looking at the price action, but looking at the positions in the market. Because we know that market makers are in the markets. They're making the bid and the ask. They are the spread. So if I go to buy an option and I hit, you know, the bid or the ask for whatever I'm trying to do, they're there, right? And they're not only making those markets, but they take on that risk. Well, I'm speculating that the market's going up. They're not speculating. They don't care if the market goes up. They have to hedge their position. So if I have a position that's, say, positive 20 delta, well, they have the opposite end, and that's negative 20 delta, okay? So they don't want to be negative 20 delta, so what do? They buy 20 deltas of underlying shares, and this hedges them to 0. Now, as we move up or move down, that 20 deltas constantly changes. It might be 18, it might be 25, it might be 16, it might be 40. And as it goes around there, they buy and sell shares to constantly keep them at this 0 delta range, right? Now, this we know is going to put pressure on the market. If they're buying and selling to stay at 0 risk, that's going to impact the market. That's liquidity. They're either taking it or providing it in the market. They're either on the side of the bid or the ask. And this means that they are influencing price action. Now, what's another way that we can say that they're influencing price action? They are influencing realized volatility, okay? The volatility that we realize in the market is price action. And that's why positional analysis can be very important. If you understand where the hedging forces are coming from and how they're coming about, you can set a position and understand where you're going. Now, another really great thing that Bear Bulls Traders does is, unlike a lot of trading communities, they do not come into the day at 8:30 and then decide what they're trying to do for the day, okay? You have a pre-market prep. You have a small number of tickers. When they're talking about Atlas and they were talking about order flow, literally 5 minutes ago, and I was listening to them, they mentioned start small. Start with what you can keep track of right now and then grow. Spot Gamma is the same way. Start with 1 or 2 tickers. Whatever tickers you're most comfortable with, understand what's going on there, and then we'll kind of move forward. Now, options become incredibly important in general. And you can see this, that the 0 DTE volume from 2020 to 2025 has increased 150%. Now, stock volumes have increased as well, but only 30% overall. And this is including the hedging factors in general. So 0 DTE options are not only here to stay, but they are moving markets and they are causing a lot of support and stability intraday, and they're exacerbating support and stability intraday. If we look at Friday, there was a banknote, I want to say it was Goldman, I'm not positive on that, that came out and said 0 DTE levered ETFs were the biggest reason for Friday's sell-off. Not that we weren't selling off anyway, but the magnitude at which we moved was due to the options positions in 0 DTE that were incredibly levered, which causes a bigger reaction. And this kind of reaction is something that we're trying to capitalize on and try to be aware of. And kind of as we were talking about here with gamma and why it matters is that positive and negative gamma. And we have 3 examples that we're going to go through here, and we'll do 3 more next time. These are just kind of some playbook kind of examples of what you can expect for price action. And this is the template that you should follow in your brain. So in this case, we're presuming that the market is increasing, okay? And we're presuming that positive gamma is above us in this case. So as we buy, we expect the market makers to sell. If we increase to 22 delta, they need to decrease 2 delta, right? Because they already decreased the 20 initially, so they're now positive 2. So they have to constantly hedge this, okay? That selling of 2 delta pushes us down a little bit. Instead of making that full leap, we're only halfway there. And then this happens over and over again. Each one of these vertical lines is just a timestamp, right? It could be any timestamp. It could be a microsecond. It could be over the course of 5 minutes. Whatever it is, this tells you the overall aspect of how they're hedging, okay? Now, in negative gamma, they're trading with price action. So as we're buying, they're on the other side waiting to get filled on the buys so that we can continue pushing because they want to be more long in those cases. They're exacerbating price action. So they're increasing realized volatility. So these are areas that we want to pay attention to with regards to how those kinds of things work. Now, in spot gamma, we have 2 areas that we really look at gamma. For the general purpose gamma, for any type of equities in general, so all of your S&P 500s, your NASDAQs, even your indices are going to be in here. And this is a daily updated model. So this is the end of day file, and it updates every single day, and it gives you the accurate position. Now, trace is the other visual that you have for gamma. Okay, so you have GEX right here where you can see the actual gamma in place. You can also swap it to net OI or OI, and you can see how these are puts and calls, okay? So we can see a lot of this influence. Now, this visual right here with trace, I feel is easiest to understand this term right here. When you see gamma, you should think in terms of realized volatility. Because when we look at this area, and we start looking at some of these areas more closely, let's zoom in here a little bit and we can see one right away. You'll notice Let's pull up our annotation tools. This bad boy shows up right here, right? This is a 0 DTE gamma position that's positive at 66.20. Now, if you look at the totality of gamma, you notice it's negative, and it has shifted a little bit, but in the 0 DTE element, it is positive. So we would expect this to have some type of measured reaction with respect to volatility. Now, if you look at the bar sizes, so let's see, this is 1030. Let's pop into a bigger chart here to where we can kind of like really zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to go to the ES chart right here. And if you go into this little area right here, this 1030 area, it's 9:30 on my chart because my TV is set to Texas time, not market time. Look at the size of the bars. Look at the size of the candles themselves. Notice that at this level, the candles are very, very, very small. As we break below them, the candles get bigger. As we were approaching it, they were bigger. But at this level, they have shrunk considerably as we've gone through them. That's telling you that realized volatility is compressing, right? If you were to look at an ATR, the average true range, if you were to look at that over this period of time, you're seeing the ATR compress. You're seeing implied volatility compress. And all of that is happening because of gamma. We can see that on trace. That was an expectation we would have. Now we're currently descending kind of into that area as well, as you see right here. So again, we still see its positive gamma there. Now we've noticed in the overall segment, we've reduced some of our gamma, so we're more neutral. We're not as negative in the overall. What do we expect? Again, the same kind of concept. We expect this kind of compressed realized volatility as we continue to push down in this way. Now, how does that impact some of the other tools? Well, when you have an area that you know is going to have compressed realized volatility, your hero signal or your price action isn't going to make as much of an impact, right? Because the amount of delta that you would have got normally is being compressed, right? That's what we're talking about when we're talking about these things. So that results in that kind of compressing price action. Let's pop over to the S&P and you can kind of see it a little bit more. You can see how we're kind of compressing some of these price actions here, right? And this is pretty common. This is exactly what you would expect when you're looking at gamma. Now, it's difficult. When I'm talking about it here, it seems really easy. It seems like I just popped in, showed you exactly what I wanted to see, and all of that. It takes thousands and thousands of repetitions, and this is okay. But you start small, and then you do it over and over and over again. And that's the key. So let's kind of get into some of those repetitions here, and we'll talk about some of those. And we will go into kind of what our expectations are. So we're going to draw on this chart as opposed to like just have it all on the screen for you right now. So as you can see right here, this is a negative gamma, and it's surrounded by two positive gamma flanking areas, okay? Now this is what we call the alternating strike pattern. I made this name up. It is not official by any means. It's just a way for me to communicate to you that it's positive, negative, positive, alternating, right? Very easy, very simple. There's no nuance to this name whatsoever. Now we're in the middle of this alternating strike profile, right? And we are increasing in price action. That just means that as we're observing price is going up, right? It's finding support at that lower level. It's kind of grinding and then kind of like bouncing and then kind of grinding and then bouncing and then kind of grinding. It's finding support. This level is holding its own. And now we recognize that price is actually truly increasing, okay? So what do we expect as we get to this level? Well, we just went over it at the 66.20, right? What should we expect? We should expect that our bars, as we're going to this level, are pretty big, right? But as we start getting to this level, these bars start shrinking. They start compressing that realized volatility. And now we might have a descending bar here that kind of rejects a little lower, and then we might have another ascending bar that maybe even wicks above, but then we come back into this area and then we continue chopping around in this area for a little while before we potentially break out or before we potentially reverse lower. So what are we looking for here? We're looking for this level to cause a reaction, and we want to treat this level a lot like we would our cams or our pivot points, right? We want to look at it in the same way as that, because in order for this level to continue bullish, we would need for it to break and find support, as opposed to right now, it's not really breaking and finding that support, right? We would expect it to continue to do some of this back and forth action, and oftentimes we would expect a failure back. Now, if you go through the elite members video yesterday, we saw examples of this exactly yesterday. I believe it was either Google or AMD, I'm not positive. And we also saw an Eli Lilly at the top end. And Eli Lilly had a very large positive strike at 836. I don't know if it's still there. It might be. And it rejected straight away off of that yesterday's price action. Actually, we can pull that up in the standard equity chart and showcase that a little bit. Give me a second here. I gotta do a bunch of zooming. Damn, look at us. We're perfect. So you see that we had that large 836 strike is what I was mentioning yesterday in Equity Hub, and I'll pull it up in a second. This is a very large positive gamma strike, I believe, or negative gamma. It was one of the two. And we ended up rejecting right back off of it, right? Because it was a singleton strike. It was that alternating kind of strike pattern kind of look. And once we rejected off of it, it's set up for a potential good entry into this range that we were looking at. So let's kind of pull up that real quick from yesterday, and we talk about it a little bit more. Now, Eli Lilly is a massive stock, so it's very wide on Equity Hub initially. We should be right around here. So that 835 strike was negative yesterday, and we got that alternating strike pattern, so it reversed lower. So we're on the opposite side of our initial kind of trade here. This one was going positive. We were actually on probably closer to this one, right? We were below this one. And we actually never found a way to break through that. And we'll go over that example in a little bit, but this kind of shows you how you can estimate how these positions work with this type of alternating strike, where you're looking at here and we're fighting in between these. You're looking at those specifically. Hold on, there's a couple of questions here. When do you have this gamma data in relation to Steam price action? So this particular gamma data is part of the synthetic OI. This is updated daily. So this is updated first thing in the morning. It's updated really, really close to the open, and that's because that's when the daily is available. Even though for some reason we close at 4 p.m. the day before, the data is not available until 8 a.m. the next day. I don't know why. It's awful. But we get it out as soon as we can from there. But that's when this model is updated. The trace model, it's updated with the same file, but it also has an intraday update as well. So if you look in here for SPX, which is what trace is, and if we were to, let's say we were just to look in this first thing in the morning, right? This would not be completely accurate to what you see on the open. And the reason is because the SPX is open, and they make positions throughout that time frame over the course of the intraday period or the ETH period. So we're updating those positions as they come in, and they update every 10 minutes or so. Now, the timestamp is every 10 minutes. Okay, so 310, 320, 330, 340, etc. The data doesn't always come in perfectly. It might be timestamped for 320, but come in at 325. And you'll see that we have up here an update for that, for exactly when you've last checked for data, and it updates the best it can. So that's one of those questions. And then there was another one here that I saw. Yes, gamma is present before the price action is realized. Gamma is contributing to the price action is the best way to say it, right? Like we know that this gamma here at 6620 is here. We can see it, we can observe it. We know empirically that this is gamma. Now, because we know that this is gamma, we know that it exists, we can make an inference on potential price action. We would, again, look to find support in those particular areas and then potentially expand from there, right? And if we fail to find support, we would look to fall back into this pattern like we were before. So this is the slide we were just talking about with the alternating strike pattern here, just like this one, right? Except now we're above and we're finding support here, right? So what would our expectation be here? Well, if we're finding support here and we expect realized volatility to compress in this area, then we want to see Hero start to increase either in S&P equities or S&P 500. We want to see measurable trading going forward, positive direction, or we want to start looking to fade, right? Now, if we are looking for a positive direction, where's the best case in this scenario? It's not the alternating strike right here if we're increasing bullishly, right? Because we're above it, but there's two red strikes. You really want to kind of just shoot for this one. This is the one you want because they're both negative. So remember this, this sign right here. We're expecting increasing price action, increasing realized volatility, expanding realized volatility. We're probably going to shoot through that strike to some degree. That would be an expectation if we're getting some of this bullish momentum. So we don't know if we're going to get it, but if we do get it, I would expect to see something like that. And you would want to look in Hero and you want to see, well, you'd want to see puts going positive, right? Like that's a good indication that we could have some potential bullish price action starting to shape up, but we really don't have any call buying. Or we don't even have any call selling either. So it's not like people are buying stock and then selling calls and then really waiting to just like neutralize that position or anything. The calls are just flat. So we're about 50% of what we want to kind of have that bullish position higher. Honestly, this looks more like a potential fall back into this range and then finding some support down here at 6,000. So let's go into the next example where we kind of talk about a cluster of positive gamma, because this is one that really, really gets people, especially when you're looking at arbitrary price targets. And this is something that I feel that traders, even Nathan, when he was first learning to trade, was awful at. He would make price targets that were way beyond what was a reasonable expectation. And he would often find himself having to partial his way out of it and then eventually go flat. Now, he's changed his strategy over the course of the last like year and a half and improved a lot of these things, but it's come on that reflection. And part of that is just understanding the market in general. But one of the elements that we can understand here is what we would expect here. So we had a rally a couple of days ago. We can pull it up and trace a little bit. We're finding some support here and we're increasing, okay? And we're making this incredible increase up here. And we see that Hero is increasing, right? So I'll put a little hero squiggle in here, right? So we're doing some of this and then Hero's just kind of going up, right? So we know Hero's increasing. We know price is increasing. What do we expect? Well, it's positive gamma, and I've said it 15 times already. We should expect realized volatility to compress. We don't expect price to revert lower. We do not have that expectation here, okay? Hero's increasing, price action's increasing. Everything we know is increasing. But if your profit target is 6 handles away, or not 6 handles, but six strikes away, so you're 30 handles away, and this is 3 strikes away, and you've got 30 minutes left, it's probably not reasonable to expect too much movement in this area because you're going to get this kind of compressing realized volatility that's still bullish. You don't have any reason to break down from here because positive gamma works in both directions. So as we're buying, right, and we get that sell push, well, what if sellers start interacting heavily at this level, this middle level right here, right? So now they're actively selling. Well, we're in positive gamma. What happens in positive gamma? The market makers counter that reaction, right? They provide a buying impetus, compressing realized volatility. So that type of action, once you get into a cluster of positive gamma, becomes the very magnet that people talk about. And it basically just starts to trap us as time passes. Now, a good way to kind of think about this, let's say it takes 100 units. We're just making up units right now. Let's say it takes 100 units to get us into this positive gamma area. In order to leave this positive gamma area after any amount of time has passed, it will take greater than 100 units to move, provided gamma is the same. Like we couldn't go back to the stage 1 in the same manner because time has passed. As soon as time has passed, as soon as theta has passed, any amount of it, that gamma increases slightly. That positive gamma increases. The likelihood of you staying within at the money is higher. And that's just the way the probabilities in deltas and everything else work, right? So that's kind of a good way to look at that aspect. So if you're in a cluster of positive gamma and you're in an options trade, your biggest enemy is theta. if you're in a Delta One trade, so you're trading stock, just shares, and you're in a positive gamma trade and you're bullish, your biggest enemy is nothing because you're shares. You don't have a theta. You just want price to go up. You have no theta component, no extrinsic component. You're all intrinsic. But your biggest concern there is a reversal, right? And same with if you were just, long an option, your reversal is your biggest worry there. So having some understanding of those positions will really, really help you. And then let's go into the third example, which is kind of around where I think we'll kind of go today. Just depends on how price action goes. So we've got that negative set up, and this is, let's say this is at 6,600, I think is what it was on Trace. 6605. Let's say it's down there at that 6605 level area, and we're starting to fail this area. So let's change our color to red. So we're pushing lower in this negative gamma. We would expect it to be a larger candle in general. And then we have some of this kind of a little bit of pushback, but not too much, right? Positive gamma is really not influencing us here. It's more magnitude than the negative gamma. So it's going to have some, but not much. And then we really start to get into this influence of this positive gamma, right? And then we can really start to see a lot of this kind of compression, right? And then as we go in here, we'll see this compression, and we'll get that exact same thing that we got basically coming down into here, right? We fall back into this positive gamma, we get it. Fall back into this positive gamma, we get it, right? Now, these are great areas when you're falling into these levels of positive gamma because it allows one thing, right? It chews up a lot of time and it lets participation switch, right? Because as you're coming down and you got a lot of selling, a lot of selling, a lot of selling, a lot of selling, eventually there is exhaustion. And then once that exhaustion starts to manifest and the sellers are basically full of short inventory, they're not aggressors. And once they're no longer aggressors, buyers could take possession of the action right there, the aggression at that point. And then from there, we could see a reversal. These types of reversals are often what you'll see when we bounce off a put wall or when we bounce off the bottom of a condor, right? So in Trace right now, there's an iron condor in there. There was a condor last week that we went and did the same thing off of, right? We pushed right off of it and bounce. These are elements that you can typically rely on, provided you get the kind of interactive price action that you would expect. I think on the 10th, there was a condor. Yeah, I think that's him. It's hard to see him. No, I don't see him there. But basically, you'll see a lot of those similar kind of concepts. Let's see, there's a couple of questions here. So you get a pause due to hedging in preparation. It's not so much a pause, Pig Rustler. It's more like, it's a lot of like give and take. Let's say you and I are playing tug of war, and you're a 5-year-old toddler and I'm a 42-year-old grown man, right? Like you're going to pull on the rope and you're going to jerk it, and you might like pull me back a little bit. Like you might catch me off guard, but like if I want to pull the rope, I'm just going to go where I want to go, and you're not going to be able to do anything about that, right? So in some areas where gamma is at, it's not going to be a big support at all. But in other areas, the balance is more equal. So it just depends on the strength of the particular level, as well as the strength of the price action. Price action is weak. If volume is weak in the price action, gamma would have a bigger impact. We see that a lot in days where like we get some very, very compressed realized volatility. I really thought we had a condor this day. This is bothering me now.
We had one yesterday, early in the day.
Yeah, not that one, because that one went away. He wasn't fun. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I'm in the wrong area of price.
Yeah, after you left, we talked about Captain Condor a little bit.
I forgot that we moved 100 handles, so I was zoomed out and it was completely off there. Okay, so let's fix this a little bit. And basically, this is what we're looking at right here, right? Long, short. No, that's not quite him. You said he was there yesterday a little bit? It was not Captain Condor though, right? It was just a small one.
It was bigger than anything else on the book. I didn't know if it was Captain Condor, but I think it was early yesterday, and then it faded off later.
I think
because it started to fade off when you were joining us yesterday.
Yeah, I think that was I think he moved. I think this is it right here. But you'll see this kind of same concept, right? 6620 and the 6615. What we should see at that same level, because this is about the time when we were talking, we should see if hero starts to increase. So this blue line right here, if this blue line starts to increase, we would expect the supportive kind of compressing price action, and then price action to go kind of vertical to some degree as well. If price action continues going down, we would expect compression and then potentially a break if it's strong enough. And you can see like Hero turns vertical straight up, right? And that's kind of what we want in this case for that particular level. And then we get to kind of move forward. The 66.20 and the 66.40 were very good pre-market levels yesterday. But it wasn't because the condor was there. It was because there was just a lot of activity there in general, even before it was there. Let's see. Somebody read your book? I haven't read your book yet. I need to read that. Okay, I don't see any super questions. Okay, cool. So let's continue going. So we've got this is our downside action here, right? So if you guys have, we're at the left side basically. If you guys have any tickers you guys want to look at, throw them in the chat. We will pop through them. You can blast them away and we'll look at anything you guys want to look at in the dashboard. So kind of what's next? This is some fun stuff for me. So for those that don't know, I like to build stuff. I love building stuff. Stuff is fun. I like to make my trading job easier and more efficient. So I'm going to have this link in the chat. Here, give me a second here. I'll get that link in just a second. And then if you don't have that link, you can just copy paste that. But we're going to go into a bunch of stuff that we're adding over the next couple of weeks. And one of them is an options calculator. Not only that, but just like Bear Bulls did, we have added a bunch of nice to-do things within our dashboard here that make things a lot more visually appealing, I would say, a little bit more supportive for some of those more technical inclined individuals. So this is just your standard trading view type stuff. So they have full access, and this is Hero. This is just the same as normal Hero before, so you get all the same stuff. You'll notice you get the put levels. You even get flow indicators as well, but we just haven't triggered one today. So these are all coming, and it's part of that. And then in addition, I believe for your first month for Bear Bulls traders, the BBT50 referral code is the 50% off your first at Spot Gambler, your first month. Now, for you BBT members, you probably only want to sign up for the monthly once. I'm going to give you a little heads up. The annual discount that kind of happens annually that everybody does, usually around Black Friday or fall. I believe it's coming in October. I haven't heard any specific word on it yet because that's the marketing side. But I would suspect with the launch being here, you're going to want to, if you're going to annual guy and you like to like have bigger discount for a longer period of time, you're going to want the annual discount for that. So definitely look forward to that if you're one of those guys. And then the option calculator in general. If you're into options and you want to price options, this is super, super, super important. But kind of going into that a little bit
And
later.
let me know when that
Yeah,
hits and I'll announce it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get that other link as soon as I can find it. Give me a second here. The affiliate link for you guys. I'll put that in chat. There it is. And this is for the Bear Bulls traders. So you guys join this. It will recognize that you guys are part of the community and we will be able to keep track of where you guys are, right? Okay, so let's take a look at a bunch of tickers. I see a bunch of people are ready to go. Holy crap. Okay, cool. Let's see, USAR. Okay, we're starting off with some weird ones. All right, let's
Hey,
go
JT.
to Equity Hub. Yeah.
Starlight's been talking in here. I've been talking to her, and she has
Oh,
a
hey.
strategy where she goes for low of day, prior day lows and highs. Could you tell her a little bit later how Gamma would help her strategy?
So she goes from prior, so she's using like a cam with the wings on the outside area, basically?
Well, she says her strategy has to do with taking trades around prior day highs and lows. And I was telling her Gamma would fit, knowing how the Gamma environment for that ticker would really help her strategy and just
Yeah,
knowing what to
so
expect.
without knowing her exact strategy, right? So one of the areas you're going to have an issue with, like in today's aspect, right? Let's go to ES in general. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. That way we can see some of this ETH action, right? So if you use the previous day's highs and lows, and you get into here for some of What is going on here? There we go. I was like, these are not our values. Cool. You see, you get a big wick, right, from yesterday's ETH action. So, I mean, this is going to really, really crush kind of any of your intraday kind of levels. So if you're just using highs and lows, it can be useful, but it depends on your strategy, right? Like, are you trying to get long at all-time highs? Are you trying to reverse at all-time highs? From there, you'd really want to just kind of focus on the three slides, right? What is gamma looking like at those particular areas on an intraday basis, right? And then from there, what kind of expectations do you have? So let's say you're trading, let's say you're trading ES, right? Just straight up ES based on some levels. You'd want to look and see what gamma is at the previous day's highs for wherever you're acting. And does price action meet your expectations for that gamma at those levels? Does it meet your strategy that you're trying to enter into? And is your strategy a continuation strategy or is it a reversal strategy? So from there, you'd want to look for specific price action, right? So that's what I would look at for those specific areas. But without knowing your exact strategy, it's tough, right? Because a lot of people at all-time highs, they just buy the high. And statistically, that's worked for years. So let's go to USAR. This is definitely different for me in general here for this one. So one of the things I like to do, I like to have next expiration gamma available as well. This tells me what the weekly is doing. So I know what Friday's expiry is, as well as the overall picture. And you can see that clearly from about basically right here, well, damn it. I didn't hold the button. Oh my God. Man, having to hold the button in order to get a square sometimes kills you. So this area right here in the total expiry is all negative gamma, but in the near term, you're looking at positive gamma right here, right? So I would say I'd probably look at something defensive, maybe around here, maybe a put spread if I was bullish. This is a pretty good area to potentially be long in the short term. On the outside over here, once you get over here, I would look to honestly, like if you are bullish, a long call has a lot of potential right here, just simply because if you get strong movement, you're going to break from that 38 strike and you're probably going to rally potentially up to 45 depending on volatility and stuff. This is a different ticker for me, so I don't know its standard day-to-day volatility or its weekly volatility. So I don't know how much it moves on an intraday period, but I mean, no, it doesn't look like it moves very much. So probably $1 or $2. But I would look at this negative gamma here. Locally, it's positive gamma though, so be aware of that. And then let's take a look at how it's actually done today. Go back into the 2 minutes. Refresh. Just had a very bearish day so far. So opened at 42 though. Opened way higher than where it was in the last close. So we opened all the way up here. We opened where our profit target was, basically where I would have looked at, right? So at this point, yeah, I would definitely look to be fading back, right? Just because we opened so high. This area is pretty much the area I would look to find some support, this positive gamma area. And if you look, 38 is literally where we started to find some of that local kind of support here. This ticker moves around a lot. I have actually not looked at this in general, this rare earth ticker, so I'm gonna have to take a look at it more because it's just an interesting ticker. So let's take a look at GEV real quick from Corey. Cool. This is positive gamma, right? This is just straight up positive gamma. Okay, we are expecting compressed realized volatility. Straight up, that's what you're expecting. You're expecting not a great deal of price action. Short-term bullishness, probably 700 is really kind of a top end. I would really look for some type of strong reaction here at 640 if you're starting to fade lower. So that's where I would look. And this area right here is completely neutral. I would avoid any type of positioning here. So this is no hedging influence right here. You're just at the mercy of whatever momentum's there. Now we moved a lot just like last time, so I don't know where we are in this particular case, but let's take a look and see where our price action was. So we opened at 633. So we opened very low. We opened basically in this kind of neutral gamma. So again, we don't really have a position to potentially be there. But this positive gamma, again, kind of comes into that cluster format, right? We would expect compressed realized volatility just kind of going upward, right? Unless hero price action was strongly negative. So let's take a look at hero price action. Let's turn this off for now. And you can see we're basically very positive, 1.5 billion positive overall. Started pretty negative initially. So we got a little bit of that bearish reaction. Oh wait, this is SPX. It doesn't have hero for GEV, so there's not enough options flow for that particular ticker. So we're not gonna be able to tell for options. But you can see that we did get a lot of that compressed volatility, right? The candles here are very, very small overall. So you can't see that. This doesn't have enough options volume for us to have a hero ticker on it though. Let's check AMD, crowd favorite. AMD was one we talked about a lot yesterday, I believe. Let's go to Equity Hub real quick. That 220 level has just been absolutely massive. You heard Aziz talk about it earlier today. This has been a very, very key target level for this kind of positive gamma atmosphere. Now, you also notice that we're kind of like in this dual hump situation, right? This next expiry is really that kind of short-term positioning that kind of developed when AMD had the big OpenAI run-up, and we're still kind of in that same OPEX period. But to the downside, we do see a lot of stability. Again, I would say that this is really indicative of like, you get a pullback, selling a put is probably a very, very good idea due to compressed realized volatility, especially at that one standard deviation. Because again, what are you expecting with positive gamma? Compressed realized volatility, which means that IV isn't going to manifest as strongly, right? So you're kind of looking at those areas. We do have this alternating strike pattern here. So if we did break above, we would have expected some reaction here. I don't know if we did today, did we? I don't think AMD broke 225, did it? No, it didn't. We've just been hanging out at this 220 level, just kind of compressing that volatility. So this again shows you like, if you're kind of in AMD and price is down here and you don't want to buy this 220 level, it's not a good stock to trade today, unless you're selling a fly, and then it's a great stock to sell today or to buy today. Positive gamma just means compressed realized volatility. So if you're a day trader, you're not going to get a lot of the bang for your buck, the big moves, but it still does have really, really great levels. So let's see, Tesla, another crowd favorite. This one's on the watch list. Again, very, very positive gamma, right? This is going to be kind of an aspect right now in general because we're so deep into OPEX. We are very, very deep into OPEX. Now, Tesla, even with positive gamma, will absolutely just go berserk. It'll move $15 or $20 at a moment's notice. And that's mostly, again, because of the levered ETFs and just the options strength in general. This ticker always has the top 10 amount of volume. We could pop into tape here and it'll probably show it. It's not there today. Maybe today is a little weaker. Oh, nope, it was 6th. I lied. Sorry. 7th. So it's there. It's just not as big as some of the others usually are, but like it's still one of the top equities overall for options volume. So what I mean by that, even though it's positive gamma, this thing moves massively. So you really need to pay attention to your IV and you need to understand where your weekly is. Positive gamma in general, though, again, compressed realized volatility relative. You can see our IV rank here is pretty low. So if you are selling premium, it can be dangerous. This indicates to me you'd probably want to have some type of like credit call spread trade on the top end, maybe long some shares or something like that. Something to where you can move a little bit and not hurt you too much. But again, positive gamma, negative strike down here at the 435. So you're looking for that kind of back and forth action right here if we're maintaining this. If we find it and break above, we're looking to fade back to 445. If we have strong hero action, we could see 450, but it's unlikely to see 460. On the downside, 420 is kind of our line in the sand. I know we do have this strike down here at 415, but again, it's Tesla. If you follow Tesla, you know the meme, you know all the things about it. 420 is a very, very key level for this. You just play the market. Like you don't care the reasons, you're just here for the market. That's probably why there's that much gamma there though, okay? So let's go to Tesla and see what's happening today. You see it's at the top of my list. So again, come down, we see this 420 level. Again, strong, like we expect. Let's pop into Hero here at that 420 level. Did we get really kind of any signs of a potential reversal. Not really. Not really seeing anything until about right now is when I would start to look. You get a little bit of a fake out here. Market was descending here, so I think 11 o'clock is probably the only time I'd really want to try to buy this area. And then you can start to see that you really get some of this action here. This right here looks like it's a delta neutral trade. I'll go into that one in a second. So you do get kind of this strength right here. One of the things I talked about in the yesterday's elite member video is this kind of tape view, right? So if you're really into order flow and you really want to see how the trade works, this particular trade, you can see 10-19-50 to 10-19-55, it actually is right here. We can see it. It's a short call. It matches exactly what we want. They sold the 450 strike. And it did actually result in a delta decrease. So it's probably a naked short call. And you can see exactly how much delta changed at it. It changed about 5 million. So it moved this needle about 5 million just due to that positional line. So Tesla was really great. This was a really good example here. Tesla follows its options volume, as mentioned. So you definitely want to be very aware of Hero with it. Let's look at Pepsi. Pepsi was on a roll last week with earnings. Let's take a look at their positionings post-earnings here in Equity Hub. Overall, positive gamma. I don't really like this range right in here. Hold on. This range right in here is not great. I don't really want to position anywhere in here. I would definitely absolutely look at something down here. Potentially looking to get into a trade. This is all very neutral volume. Unless we're at 140, 144, or 150, this is 145. Unless we're at one of these three strikes, I'm likely not going to be super interested. These are going to be in that OPEX period. They're not going to be in the weekly for these bigger strikes. These intraday, these $1 strikes are going to be more likely in the weekly, especially like there's probably a 142.5 and maybe a 147.5 in here that's kind of messing some of this up. So I would look at those elements. At this area, I would still look to be relatively positive gamma. So maybe 155 would be my upper end where I'd want to try to like position for a particular short. If we break down into this area and we show bullish movement, I would look to potentially come to this 150 line. But that's about it. This is very neutral in the weeds though. So if we're in this area of the weeds, stay away, right? There's just not a lot of gamma there. Let's take a look. So yeah, we didn't really make where we wanted. We got this 150 and then just kind of faded back into this range, this 159, 148. So it kind of held in this area, right? So like I said, like you've got that positive gamma, but like if you're looking to get long with Hero Flow, that 150 is like where you want to get out. Like there's not much more past that. If you're looking at longer dated stuff, that 155 is a very good strike to potentially sell if there's enough theta there, if there's enough extrinsic. Let's go to NEM. Hey, Newmont. I didn't know we had some real players in the game. I love some of these extra stocks. Cool. I have a short puts here at strike 70 myself. I have 6, I believe, currently. So that's where I'm at. Again, very positive gamma. The weekly is very neutral though. So I would probably look at, again, probably selling rips. I'd probably look at selling IV. You'll notice IV rank is at 64%, so it is pretty nice overall to sell IV in this particular product. This is one of the ones though, it's in the minor category. It's in the minerals, gold. I believe that they're actually a minor, and I believe that their products are gold with an offput of copper, or it's copper with an offput of gold. I don't remember which one, but they make profit on both. So that's part of the fundamental things. This came down quite strong due to the FCX miners issue and copper and gold and silver just kind of taking a bid in general. So this has been just one of those areas that's been very volatile. Again, these interest strikes are very, very low impact. We don't expect a lot of movement there. This 80, 85 strike is really where we would like to see some movement. Last close, we were up here near the 90 and we got this alternating strike pattern. So again, you want to look at the 89, giving you that kind of indication of support to potentially push back to 90 in the short term. This is a small mover. This doesn't move up, $10, $15 in a day. So you do need to take profits when you do get your moves that you want. But longer term, I'm really looking downside short puts, and I just have a bunch of them. So let's take a look at it real quick. What was that alternating strike pattern at? 89, 88, 80, or 89, 88, and 90. Yep, so there we go. Cool, so we get our alternating strike pattern here that we can see. Here's our 88 area right here. This is the 89 area, so this is that. We're going into that negative, so we expect some resistance, and then if we're gonna push through, we're gonna find some support before we go ahead, right? And you can see that we're pushing through, we find some support right around that 89 level, and then we continue moving forward. We're in that positive gamma, so we expect that strike to take a long time to eventually reach that location. It does reach that location and provides a pretty good overall opportunity there. Let's check Hero, see if Hero is excessively bullish. Pretty bullish overall, all things considered, for this particular stock. It's about 1 million right now, and this is a lot of volume for this particular instrument. You'll see that its average, or well, its 30-day range is 21.21. But again, this came off the back of a lot of those mining instances, so it changed quite a bit. So this is a great stock as well. This one really does follow its levels, but its levels are really compressed, so you don't get that $10 move. You only get, 50 cents, maybe a buck. So it's tougher, but it's great. Okay, Citi. So we got Citi for earnings, I believe, tomorrow? So let's take a look at this. I am short puts in Citi. I don't remember my strike though. I added them on Monday. On basically right at the open before we started rallying, essentially. I'm looking to be long banks in general, so I have short puts here. I have a strangle in JPM. I think I have an iron condor in Wells Fargo, so those are where I'm at right now. This 90 strike is incredibly interesting. This is just a very, very solid strike. This is one of the strikes that I would potentially look at selling a fly around, just because if we break ahead and we break strongly ahead, you would need a call ratio to really benefit from any move here. You would need to move much further, much faster than you were expecting. And that's a difficult trade for a lot of people to take. But you have this negative gamma here, so really strong moves could potentially happen up into the, 105 area, maybe 104 before we start seeing resistance. However, you do have the $100 level, which always, that's that key level, that psych level that always causes some reaction. So we could see some potential compressed realized volatility around there. Downside though, this 90 strike is where I want to be. All of this in between is just noise, right? This is just so much less magnitude compared to this massive strike, which is going to move this Friday. So be aware of that. Let's take a look at Citi real quick. Yep. So 95, find our strength here and then kind of gain some strength here. 97 was interesting, and then we're stopping out at 99. So where are we at here? We're basically in the same area. It's this negative gamma, but we had this kind of like downside area where we just found a little bit of support, but like it's just not a lot of movement. It is in negative gamma, but it's just one of those areas where there's just a lot of not movement really. This is going to be tough to move in general. Like I said, there's earnings on Wednesday. So a lot of times what you're going to see here is drift, right? This is post-earnings announcement drift when it comes after earnings. This is before drift. So this is pre-earnings drift. And if you look for a couple of days, if I remember correctly, they've had bullish days all this week, basically, right? Monday and Tuesday were both very bullish days. This is kind of what you expect with financials in an easing rate cycle, etc. Like there's a lot of reasons to be long this particular stock, especially short volatility in this particular case. Okay, let's go ADB. Cool. No, that was Adobe, right? ADBE, is that what you said? Yeah, Adobe, cool. ADBE, cool. Positive gamma to the downside, so relatively local price action right here, I would expect. But if we do break down, we do get the alternating strike down here, so we would look at this 320 level to see if it provides any kind of short-term stability to kind of rally off and get maybe back to this 330 level. If we're sitting around this 340 level, we could oscillate in this entire range, maybe peak at this 360 on a strong bullish move. Very unlikely overall though. Its IB rank is 30, so we're not expecting strong movements in general. We would expect this to kind of stay within this general range. So I would be looking to buy any dips, especially around this 330 area if we're finding support and price action. Similarly around this 340 area. If we break, fall back, we find some strength, I'd look to take that 340 level maybe to 344 on the top end. I would not look to short anything, even on levels, really. This would not be an indication I would look to short anything in this particular area here. I do have a position in Adobe, though. It's a short call spread or a diagonal. I'm not sure which one. And we can see we're at the 336 level. Let's take a look at where that 336 level is. So it's in this kind of area right here. So potentially, like if we were looking to get some of that bullish action, going to 340, like I said, is a potential worthy trade. So if we can find some support, looks like we're getting some of it right now. Honestly, we kind of broke out a little bit. We want to see a little bit of consolidation, maybe a little bit of pullback to continue up. And then try to take that 340 level to some degree. Check out Hero. It's flat and neutral. This is not a day you care about Adobe. I would sell an Iron Condor for the weekly and move on. It's just flat. So nothing here. Let's see what else. We do love 420 on Tesla. You are correct, Ben. Appreciate it.
I think we're about to wrap up time.
Yeah.
Carlos is gonna put the Oscar music on. But
That's
no, this
cool.
was awesome, man.
I did not talk about my trading indicators. I'll talk about those some other time. Right now, it's literally just getting you guys this stuff right here. I want you guys to have examples that you can work from. And I'll start adding to more of these examples so that you guys have some of this material so that you guys can keep going, right? Like that's the goal right now. I spent 2 weeks giving you guys super heavy theory, well, 2 months basically. So we'll ease up on the theory and we'll give a lot of examples for the next couple of them. And then if we do one in December, I might do a like heavy theory one.
You just have to dress up like Santa, and I'll dress up like an elf because you got the beard.
If you come to one of our webinars during the Halloween period, there will be JT dressing up.
I love it. And guys, Dr. V will be on tomorrow. And again, this weekend, come and meet Thor and me and hang out for the Money Show in Orlando. I appreciate it, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks, JT. I appreciate it. I love it every time.
I'll answer questions in chat while people are here for a little bit, and then I'll bounce out. But thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Have a nice day, guys.